Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. I want to make sure that you know that we have opening night tickets available. So make your deposits right now. You can go to the website, NothinButKnicks.com, and click right here in the middle where you see Mitch Robertson. And it'll take you to where you can make your down payment. So make sure you get that done as soon as possible because we have less than 20 tickets remaining, ladies and gentlemen. So less than 20 tickets remaining, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you get on that right now. And we're going to go ahead and get this thing popping. You know what I'm saying? Knicks family, what is popping with you? It's your boy. You know what I'm saying? And you are now rocking with the best. That's what it is. We about to go ahead and get this thing going. I already got somebody in the chat. We got Isaiah in the chat. I'm pretty sure the chat's going to fill up sooner or later. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. For those asking, look, I should be on YouTube. I'm hopeful that I'm going to be on YouTube again real soon. You know what I'm saying? But for the time being, this is how we rocking with it. I was in contact with YouTube today, just to keep you updated. I was in contact with YouTube today. We talked a little bit about, just everything that happened. And, I said to him, hey, man, it's been like 11 days. I haven't had an update yet. So talk to me, bro. Let me get an update. When are we going to get this update going? You know what I mean? So I'm very hopeful that we'll get an update very soon. The guy told me he's going to check into it. And hopefully we get an update hopefully I get an update tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping, man, that I can get an update tomorrow. And the next time I go live, I'm hoping I can be on YouTube and all the other platforms that I'm on right now. You know what I'm saying? But as we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook. So if you guys are joining me on those platforms, salute to you. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I had a decent weekend, busy weekend, coaching basketball and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, I'm hoping that you guys had a good weekend, a cool weekend, because it was blazing hot this weekend. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those really super duper hot weekends, this weekend that just passed. So hopefully you guys had a real cool weekend. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the salary cap and give some player updates and talk a little bit about FIBA basketball. Frank Ntilikina is going to be playing FIBA basketball. We're going to talk about all that stuff. All right. And then, we're just going to have some time for question and answer, just so we can talk, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to get you guys' opinions. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. You can call in 516-405-2246. Not at the moment. It's not open yet, but it will be open very soon. All right. At the moment, we're going to talk to our video chat, find out how these guys' weekends went. And then after we talk to the video chat, we're going to go ahead and, just start talking about players and salary caps and anything that has to do with the New York Knicks at this time of year. It's a very quiet time of the year. You know what I mean? All of everything has happened. All the excitement, happened. The draft, free agency, all that excitement happened. Now we're in, a time of the year where it's a little bit cooler, a little bit more relaxed. The Knicks have their roster together. Right, so you're not going to see many moves concerning the Knicks right now because their roster is together. They've signed everyone that they can sign. They have 15 players on the roster. I doubt you're going to see any trades or anything like that in the next coming months. Not with the New York Knicks, at least. I think, the trades that you could have seen have been done in the NBA. Maybe there's one more left with Chris Paul. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and talk about some stuff. And you know what? Listen, we'll do updates on everything that's happening and going on. Even in the NBA, we'll talk a little bit. So let me go ahead and bring these guys over here and, find out what they're doing, how their weekend was, and see what's going on with these guys. All right. You see my man Isaiah right here, still recovering. This guy is still recovering. He texted me today and told me his knees still hurt. Ankles still hurt. That's bad. That's bad news. You know what I'm saying? Still recovering, but it's all good. Let me say what's up to him. Isaiah, what's good, man? How was your weekend?
First of all, Sam, I don't like liars, and you're a liar.
Come on, bro. Tell the truth.
My ankles are fine. The swelling went down a while ago, so I don't even have to worry about that. So that's a lie off the jump.
Come on, man. Just tell the truth, man. Just be truthful. Just be honest, bro. That's all you got.
Listen, the truth is, I don't know how many times I got to keep saying it. I won. That video was edited. You edited the video. You made yourself look good. But you know what? We're not going to talk about that right now.
Actually, I edited the video and made you look good.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Sandy, you listen to this guy, Sandy? He's a liar.
I edited the video and made you look good, bro. But, it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Listen, everybody, I'm coming out there again next month. Don't worry. I'll have the video. I'm going to record the video, and you're going to see the truth. Don't worry, everybody.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. So actually, but he is going to come out next month. Next month, Isaiah and I are going to. There's a court in a neighborhood near where I live, about 6, 7, 8 miles from where I live, that needs a lot of cleaning up. So we're getting together a crew of people. And we're going to go out there. We're going to clean up the court. We're going to, get all the grass out of the cracks of the court, make sure all the garbage is up off of the court, trim all the weeds that's around the court. We're getting people like Lowe's and other businesses involved so that they can come in and help us to clean up the court. And we're going to make sure they got good nets. The backboards are, if the paint is chipping, anything like that. We're going to clean the whole thing up. We got a group of people that's going to be involved with it. We're going to clean it up. We're going to get it set so kids can come back out there. Hopefully, we can get somebody to come in and help to put some new blacktop on the court. And once it's all cleaned up and looking good, we're gonna go ahead and have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament for the kids in the neighborhood. So,
hey, you know what, Sendo? All seriousness, no joking right now, man. I'm so excited to help you with that, man. I really can't wait. I'm excited to do that, man. I remember we were talking, man, and I really, I was really excited when you were telling me what you wanted to do, and I'm so honored to actually help you do it, man. So, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I really can't wait to help you.
I appreciate it, man. It's going to be fun, But
I'm going to whoop you on that court, so don't worry. I'm going to whoop you on that court, too, so don't worry.
All right, well, it's going to be a lot of kids out there. We'll do it out there with all the kids out there.
Oh, kids can get it, too. It don't matter what age it is. Kids can get it, too.
I'm just saying, we'll let them go ahead and laugh at you.
No, they ain't gonna laugh at me. They're gonna be laughing at you. But Sim, my week was good, man. It was really hot, man. Up here, man, it was like
it was blazing.
102, 103. I just really stayed in the house playing the AC, man. It was too hot to go out, man, do anything really. But it was a good week. It was a really, 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 really slow Knicks week. The last couple of weeks, man, nothing really is going on. I mean, they had the big thing today. The big thing in NBA today was Kawhi and Paul George's the announcement that they officially joined. They had the press conference today. That was really pretty much it. Football's gearing up, so it's not really that much basketball talk. So, the Knicks pretty much got their roster together. So it's really much set now. I'm really excited to see Frank in FIBA, and I hope he plays really well, plays aggressive, and shows a little more shooting talent. So they can help him out because we have a really stacked team as far as position wise, and I think actually talent wise as well. So this is gonna be probably one of the most interesting training camps for battle of positions and starting in the NBA probably because everybody else pretty much knows who's going to start.
Right.
With the Knicks kind of I think we have the most interesting position in the NBA because we got so much talent and so much players that deserve playing time that this is going to be the hardest training camp. And, Fizz, I saw your video. Fizz has a lot of work to do, and you got to buckle down and get that starting five right, man. And I really do believe that if the first couple of months, man, I don't think Fizz should do what he did last year. Stick with your guys and stick with them. If you got a starting five, stick with that starting five. You know what I'm saying? Of course, injuries and all that other stuff. But if you're going to have a starting five, stick with it. Have faith in that five and do what's best for the team. And, play the players that are willing to sacrifice, willing to play hard, and willing to listen to the coach. And, I'll go from there,
Yeah. We'll see how that's going to go, man. It's definitely going to be interesting. Right now, the New York Knicks are, in sleep mode. Hopefully the players are, getting themselves together, developing, continuing to work out, staying in shape and all those good things. I'm pretty sure that they are, pretty positive that they are. But let me get to Sandy. And after we get to Sandy, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the salary cap. We'll do a nice salary cap update. Now that the Knicks have signed everybody, we'll do a nice salary cap update so you can see what the salary cap looks like. We're going to look at Spot Track. We'll even maybe look at Hoops Hype. We'll look at both of them so you can, you can just get a good idea of everything. And then we're going to talk about players and player updates and stuff like that. I do want to mention, though, when we do when we clean up this court, it's in Maryland. I know it's in Maryland, but there's a lot of New York Knicks fans in Maryland. If you live in Maryland and you'd like to participate, reach out to me. Hit me up, man, because we'd love to have the participation as we're trying to clean this court up for the kids. All right. Let me get to my man Sandy. And then we're going to go ahead and start talking about salary caps and things like that. Sandy, what's good with you, man?
What's going on, my friend Sim? Yeah, it was freaking way hot this weekend. It was one of the hotter weekends we've had. I actually still recovering from this freaking total knee replacement surgery, but me and my girl went to this place I like to go cliff jumping. I cliff jumped a bunch on Saturday. Was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Yeah, no, Sunday actually. Sunday. So that was cool.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. Cool.
I got a suggestion when it comes.
Hey, you're kind of breaking up. You're kind of breaking up a lot. Is there a way, Sandy, that you can use some wired headphones, because you're breaking up a lot, and we want to make sure everybody can hear you pretty clear. All right. Some wired headphones. Ernesto, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling? So everybody can hear you pretty clear. All right. I'll let Ernesto get the sound in the back, and then I'll come back to Ernesto. Let's see.
I got it.
Yeah, no problem, man. How you doing, Ernesto? How you feeling?
What's poppin', Sim? What's going on, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling real good. I had a weekend of AAU basketball, Ernesto, and let me tell you what. This was one of the worst weekends of AAU basketball that I've ever had. Really. It really, really was. It was bad. It was bad. We went to Don Cannon. You said I should make a Cash App link. You know what? That's a good idea, Don. Because right now I'm not on YouTube and people can't send me a super chat. I can do that and I can put it in the link. I appreciate you, Don. Thank you. But anyway, back to and I may do that as we are on this show. Thank you, Don. But anyway, man, I had the AAU tournament, and I don't know, you might have seen a little bit of video and a little bit.
Yeah, that was impressive. I mean, I've never seen a place like that with like 13 courts, 13. All in one building.
13.
I mean, over 30.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's 30 courts in one building. So it's called the Gaylord National Resort or something like that. It's at the
Where's that?
It's in Maryland. It's in Fort Washington, Oxon Hill, Maryland, right outside of D.C., like 5 minutes outside of D.C. And it's a huge hotel. There's like 2,000 rooms in this hotel. And you should see this hotel. I mean, the hotel literally has outside, inside. You know what I mean? It's like there's a park inside the hotel. It's a really, really nice hotel. And they take
I can't imagine how it sounds in there with all those basketball bouncing at the same time and everybody shooting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that's crazy.
You know, they take the convention center and they put down courts. So downstairs there was like, I don't know, 24 courts. You go upstairs, there were 6 courts upstairs. And there's like 350 teams. There's college coaches and scouts everywhere. And we performed horribly.
Wow. Sorry to hear that, man.
It was one of those times. What I will say is this. We had some players who had never been in that atmosphere before. never been in that atmosphere. So they walk in, and you see this huge room with 30 basketball courts. You're immediately, if you've never been there, you are immediately intimidated. Yeah. Now, of course, I've been to a bunch of tournaments, but the first time I ever went to one of those tournaments as a coach, I was intimidated as a coach. So you can imagine how a player must feel the first time they walk in and there's like 30 courts and a million players and college coaches and all this kind of stuff. It's very intimidating. And we had some players who are freshmen, haven't been in that type of situation. It's brand new to them. So they were a little bit nervous. We had a rough week.
Well, I'm guessing you were on the losing side most of the time, huh?
Oh, we lost all 5 games.
Wow, all 5 games you lost?
We played 5 games this weekend.
Were they at least competitive, or did you lose by a significant margin?
We got smacked.
Wow, man. Sorry to hear you. Sorry to hear that, man. That's not a good experience.
Yeah, we played 1 competitive game, but for the most part, we got smacked. You know, and it was rough. Some of the girls were just shell shocked, and it was once. So this is what happens: you walk in shell shocked. In that first game, you get smacked, right? Now it's hard to shake it. Now we had some girls that had been there before, but they weren't able to make it for this team. So we had to play with some of the younger girls who were fresh to this, new to this, and you get smacked the first game, it's hard to recover. Now that it happened the first game. But some positive things came out of it. One of our girls, she's probably going to make the all-pool team. So they do an all-star team for your pool. She's probably going to make the all-pool team. My daughter, she did a good job, and she, had some people reach out to her to talk to her about, going and playing for them the next, and not next year. She's a senior next year, but the year afterwards. So in that aspect, it was good. It was good in that aspect, but.
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to have life is about experiences. So,
exactly. That's what,
so that's what it's about. Next time around, probably have different results.
Yeah.
Because they've been through it. So.
Exactly. They've been through it. Some of the younger ones have been through it. Next year we'll go to, and we've been to some big tournaments earlier in the year. Not as big as that one, though. Some other big tournaments, but not as big as that one. But it was rough basketball wise. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it was a good experience. Get to go out, eat, and do things and stuff like that. But it's a slow week for the Knicks anyway. Right?
Hey, what's going on? What do you think about that Beal extension? You still interested in him?
Well, it depends on did he accept it?
No. I'm pretty sure he's going to probably accept it.
We'll see. We'll see if he accepts the extension. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be. As a matter of fact, it's going to be extended this Friday. Right? The Washington Wizards are going to extend it this Friday.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
It's 3 years, $111 million. So
yeah, I guess that's basically the max for him, right?
Yeah, you're looking at around 35-ish per year now.
Yeah. So we'll see if he accepts it. We'll see what happens.
He will.
It's a lot of money for him. It's definitely a lot of money.
You know what players do these days? They're going to accept their contracts, and then if they want out, they'll ask for a trade later on. They're going to get their money.
That's what I was going to say. Just because he accepts the extension,
exactly, doesn't mean he's going to stay there the whole 3 years.
Right. Doesn't mean he's going to stay there and play. So. From the way that they are talking, the Washington Wizards, I was listening to, I don't remember the guy's name, but I was listening to him talk about Bradley Beal the other day, and he was like, it's a no-brainer. We want Bradley Beal. We're definitely offering him a max extension, and they are definitely hoping that he is going to be part of their organization for the time being.
He's going to accept he's going to sign the extension, and then come the trade deadline next year, he'll probably ask for a trade.
Yeah, well, that's the way it seems to go in the NBA nowadays.
That's the new NBA these days,
That's the NBA nowadays, and these guys are smart.
You got rookies on their rookie scale contracts asking for trades.
Yeah, tell me about it. these guys are smart. I got to give it to them. They've definitely, they say a lot on ESPN and all this stuff. We're in the player empowerment age. We're definitely in the player empowerment age. These guys are definitely understanding that they are a brand. They can market themselves. They can have control of their careers. So good for them. That's definitely good for them. And I hope that I hope it continues. I hope it continues for them, and they learn. They just learn how to continue to empower themselves. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But let me go ahead, and I'm going to come back to the video chat. I want to go through and look at the Knicks salary cap. It's about time to do a salary cap update since it's the Knicks have spent their money in free agency. There's no more money to spend. So I just want to update the cap just so that we are aware of where the Knicks stand with the salary cap right now. All right. Where they stand with the salary cap. So we're going to go ahead and update the salary cap. Like I said, we're going to use Spot Track to update the salary cap. And maybe we'll take a look at Hoops Hype as well. But for right now, we're going to take a look at Spot Track. All right. I like Spot Track. I like the way Spot Track breaks it down. Sometimes it can be confusing when we look at Spot Track, the way that they break it down, because sometimes they really do get in depth. All right, but we're gonna do a general overview and take a look at the guys' salary cap. Then we're gonna just talk about the players a little bit. Update you on some of the players. Obviously, the Knicks signed Kenny Wooten to an Exhibit 10 contract. So we'll talk about Kenny Wooten a little bit and the possibilities of what he can do, what he may be able to bring to the New York Knicks organization. And I'm not just talking about the regular team. I'm talking about the Westchester Knicks and all that kind of stuff. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at Spot Track right now. And that's what you see on your screen. You see Spot Track on your screen. All right. And you can see a breakdown of our players and what their salary is for this year. All right. And we're going to break it down a little bit further. Well, let's start here. All right. We have our active roster cap. It's $107 million. Right. So with our active roster cap, we are under the salary cap. But of course, we have some dead cap. You see that $6.4 million. That's Joakim Noah's salary. And we're going to have that salary on our books for a few more years. All right. So the total cap space that the Knicks, the total cap that the Knicks are paying out this year is $113 million. So they're about $4 million over the max, over the cap space. Okay. All right. And listen, it really doesn't matter much because the Knicks, they've signed everybody that they're going to sign for this season. You see Julius Randle. Julius Randle is at $18 million for this season, and I think Julius Randle is $18 million for this season, $18 million for the next season, and then it bumps up a little bit or something like that. Marcus Morris is at $15 million for this season. Bobby Portis is at $15 million for this season. Taj Gibson, $9 million. Wayne Ellington is at $8 million. Elfrid Payton is at $8 million. RJ Barrett, he's making $7 million this season, $7.8 million this season. Frank Ntilikina, $4.8 million. Dennis Smith Jr., $4.4 million. Kevin Knox is at $4.3 million. Reggie Bullock, he signed his contract. He's making $4 million. Okay, his Reggie Bullock's total contract is like $8.2 million. And a lot of this you guys know, right? But, we're just putting this in the context of the entire salary cap, okay? Alonzo Trier is receiving the biannual exception from the Knicks for $3.5 million. All right, Damian Dotson is getting the minimum, 1.6. Mitchell Robertson is receiving the mid-level exception for $1.5 million. All right, Ignaz Brazdeikis was signed with just regular cap space. He's receiving $898,000 this season. And then Kenny Wooten was signed to an Exhibit 10 minimum, which is $898,000. Okay, now remember, Ignaz Brazdeikis has a guaranteed contract. All right, so this is the cap. This is 2019, 2020, and we will take a look at the multi-year view as well. All right, again, you see Joakim Noah's on here for $6.4 million because we amnestied him or whatever the term is. All right. We'll scroll down again just so you can see again a nice little summary. Again, the active roster cap is $107 million. Dead money on the cap is 6.4. That's Joakim Noah's. So total cap allocations is $113 million. The salary cap max is $109. So the Knicks are $4.3 million over the salary cap. It's not bad. All right, it's not bad, and that's really due to Joakim Noah's contract. All right, the active roster, players who are active, is about $2 million under the salary cap. All right, so I think that they've done a good job managing the cap, and we have flexibility moving forward. And that Reggie Bullock you see right here is a room exception for Reggie Bullock. And we're going to talk about Reggie Bullock in a little bit as well. All right, so that basically right there is our salary cap for 2019, 2020. If you want to take a look at the multi-year view, we'll look at the multi-year view, right? We're going to start here. We'll look at the total cap allocation in 2020, 2021. Right now, the total cap allocation in 2020-21 is $93 million. And you see for 2021, 2022, the total cap allocation is $37 million. All right. And this summer right here, in between 2020 and 21 and 21 and 22, this is the summer where people are looking at and saying, okay, there's more free agents available. There's more free agents, big time free agents available. 2020, there's nobody. There's nobody that we're interested in. Okay. You can see the breakdown. You can see the breakdown for 2019, 2020, and 2020, 21. You can see the breakdown: guards, forwards, centers. How much we're playing each one of those positions right now. The forward position is heavy. We're paying $71 million to forwards, only playing $1.5 million to centers, and that's Mitchell Robinson. Although some other guys, Mitchell Robinson is the only true center on the team. You got some other guys that can play that center position. All right. In 2019, for 2020, 2021, keep an eye on this. Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr., they both have options for next season, but it's a team option. Okay, there's a club option right here for both of these players, meaning these guys are basically in a contract year. Both Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr., they're basically in a contract year. We're going to talk about Frank Ntilikina a little bit later. But these guys, it's time for these guys. We talked about in the last stream, is Coach Fizdale on the clock? And I caught some heat in the comments too. Some people, how can he be on the clock? Blah, 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 blah. Listen, the dude is on the clock. Say what you want. He's on the clock. The clock is ticking for Coach Fizz. It doesn't mean that we're ready to fire him. All it means is that his honeymoon period is over. Say what you want. His honeymoon period is over. We expect progress. Do we expect playoffs? No. But we expect progress. We don't see progress. You got to start asking questions. We don't see progress. It's time to sit down and say, Fizz, what's up? That's what Scott's got to do. Sit down and say, hey, what's going on? Well, where do we need to, what do we need to do to help you to improve on the court? Doesn't mean that he's getting fired. It just means that the evaluation period is now beginning. See, last season, you couldn't really evaluate Fizdale. We talked a lot about Fizdale and what we did and didn't like. And I know I'm going off the topic right now. We talked a lot about Fizdale, what we did not like. But truth be told, you really couldn't evaluate Fizdale on last season. This season, the evaluation period begins. I don't care what nobody says. The evaluation period begins for Fizdale. All right? That's it. But anyway, it's an evaluation time for Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. as well. Out of those two players, I'm more concerned about Frank than I am with Dennis Smith Jr. It's been a rough go for Frank Ntilikina his few years here in the NBA. It's been a rough go, and I'm really hoping that this season he can really come in and show the Knicks, hey, you're going to need me in the future. I'm a player. That's what we need from Frank. We need him to come in and show everybody that he is a player. You know what I'm saying? So both Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. Are on club options for Knicks going into next season. So the Knicks will have to make a decision on both of those guys. If the Knicks extend a qualifying offer to those guys, they will be restricted free agents. If they choose to decline, then they'll be unrestricted free agents. Now, I expect, because there's not many free agents in the summer of 2020, I think there's a good chance that both of those guys get re-signed, that the Knicks pick up both of their options. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I think. Even if Frank Ntilikina doesn't have the greatest of years, I think they still may, because what is there to get in 2020? A lot's going to depend on what happens in the season too. I will say that if the Knicks somehow overachieve and they actually, slide into an 8th seed or something like that, then they may look a little bit harder about freeing up some cap space and maybe, bringing in something that can help them take a step forward going into the following season. But if the Knicks are at 30 games, maybe they contended a little bit for the 8th seed. They win between 30 and 35 games. I would expect them to say, we'll give these guys another year to prove themselves in the NBA. That's what I would expect. I could be wrong, but that's what I would expect, because there's not much on the market. We took a look at the free agent market in 2020. There's not much there. Not much there in the way of point guards. That we'd be Fred VanVleet, maybe. I don't expect Fred VanVleet to be leaving Toronto, though. So, that's where I'm at with it. That's what I think. Okay, that's how I think about the situation. All right. You got Alonzo Trier is going to be a restricted free agent next summer. Damian Dotson is going to be a restricted free agent next summer. All right, so the Knicks got some decisions to make about some guys going into 2020. Kevin Knox. There's also a club option on Kevin Knox. All right, obviously, the contracts that we signed this summer, there's club options for those players for next season. So the Knicks are going to have some decisions to make. I'm still not going to say this is a tryout year. It's not a tryout year like it was last year, right? It's not. Fizdale got to make something happen. All right, so you're looking, so you can see. And you can see Joakim Noah, he's on the books all the way until 2021. All right, so in between that summer of 2020, so this summer right here, Joakim Noah comes off the books. So that's an extra $6 million that the Knicks will have in the summer of 2021 when all those free agents are available. All right. All right, but yeah, Joakim Noah's on the books for a while. Which it doesn't hurt us next year. It doesn't hurt us next offseason. Doesn't really hurt us because there's nothing there. This is the year when it comes off the books, and then the cap will really be kind of clean. Again, in 2021, the Knicks have $37 million for the 2021-22 season. They have $37 million on the cap. All right. So the Knicks will be, they'll be in a good spot, a good situation coming into that summer. Now, and here's the thing, or coming into this summer right here. This summer between 2020 and 21 and 2021 and 22. This summer right here, this offseason, the Knicks will have cap space freed up. And that's why it is important You know, people say that Fizz isn't on the clock. The Knicks aren't on the clock. They are, because you got to show improvement this season here. Show some improvement this season here, because if you are actually looking at this summer as a key summer, you got to be ready. You got to have something in place. So this is the Knicks salary cap situation, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we are right now. We're in a good spot. We're in a good situation. It looks good, right? The Knicks have a plethora of draft picks over the next few years. We have cap space. We have flexibility, maneuverability. They're in a very good spot. Very good spot. Great job, I believe, by the New York Knicks in their front office and making sure that the Knicks cap is pretty much clean. Besides that Joakim Noah contract, which is about $6.4 million, the Knicks cap is pretty much clean. So they've done a pretty good job making sure that this cap is right for the Knicks. So, you know, kudos to them. You know, kudos to them. When we get, you know, when we get into later into the season and, you know, there's some kind of move that takes place, we'll take a look at the cap again. You know, if something takes place later on during the season, you know, when we get close to the deadline, we'll take a look at the cap again. If there's, you know, things that's going on, you know, surrounding the Knicks and the possibility of making moves or making trades, you know, then we'll, you know, take some time and look at it once more. But the Knicks they've done well. They've done well. They've done very well. Kudos to them, because they've done very well. Now, I want to get into just talk about some players and get into some player updates. And, you know, talk about what's going on with some of our players. Obviously, it's a quiet season. Not that much going on, but there is some stuff happening. All right, there is some stuff happening. Let's begin. Or let me pull myself over here first, so that you're looking at me. Let's talk about our most recent signing. We talked about it we just talked about it briefly for just a second, right? But we're going to get into it a little bit more deeply, and then we'll have a discussion about him. All right. The Knicks signed Kenny Wooten to an Exhibit 10 contract. Now, you've seen Kenny Wooten in Summer League. And I'm going to tell you, the first time that I seen him, because I didn't know too much about him, and I seen him jump up and grab a rebound, I was like, hold up. Who is this dude? Like, who is this guy skying out the rim and grabbing a rebound? No, so he caught my attention. His athleticism caught my attention right away. Right away, his athleticism caught my attention. And excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry about that. But like I said, his athleticism caught my attention straight out the gate. You know, the kid can jump out the room. You know, and I think throughout Summer League, I think that he caught the Knicks' attention, obviously. You know, he obviously caught the Knicks' attention, and Scott Perry and David Fizdale, Steve Mills. So let's take a look at him a little bit more deeply. All right, Kenny Wooten. He is a 6'9" power forward, mostly power forward. Right, he weighs 235 pounds. He played for Oregon, the Fighting Ducks. Right, he's a sophomore. He's 21 years old. His birthday, he was born April 17th, 1998. Last season, he averaged 6.3 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 0.6 assists. He shot 58.9% from the field, but he didn't really shoot from the field. He more kind of, you know, caught lobs, did those kind of things. He did average 2.6 blocks per game last season. Well, in college as a sophomore. 2.6 blocks per game. So you gotta like that, because the one thing that we only have one shot blocker on the team, and that's Mitchell Robertson. That's Mitchell Robertson. He shoots 67.2% from the free throw line. Now, if you want to take a look at his strengths, defense is obviously a strength that, I don't want to say obviously, but even on-ball defense is a strength of his. He's a good defender. His athleticism, like I said, the first time I seen this man jump, I was like, whoa, what is this? His athleticism is through the roof. And obviously his shot blocking is a strength of his. But he's got work to do. And I think if he's going to play in the NBA, he's not a scorer. You see, he averaged 6.3 points per game in college. He's not a scorer. So if he's going to be effective in the NBA, I think he's going to need to develop his game a little bit on the offensive side. He's going to have to become a scorer, get a few moves. He needs to develop a jumper. He doesn't really have a jumper. The reason why, you see up here, his field goal percentage is 58.9%. That's because he catches lobs, duck-ins to the basket, putbacks, those type of things. He doesn't shoot threes. He was 0% from the three-point line because he doesn't shoot threes. That does not fly in today's NBA. The kid is going to have to develop a jumper. With his athleticism, though, he should be able to rebound better at 4.8 rebounds per game. He should be a better rebounder. I think that's an aspect of his game where he's gonna need to work on that aspect of his game, and he has a penchant to get into foul trouble. But this is the Knicks' new pickup, Kenny Wooten. Again, the 6'9" power forward, 235 pounds, played at Oregon last season, sophomore. He's 21 years old. He's got time to grow and develop. The Knicks signed him to an Exhibit 10 contract. Hopefully he, ends up playing with the Westchester Knicks and develops in the system, because let me say this to you. The Knicks signed a lot of power forwards this season. Right? They signed a lot of power forwards this season, but they're not going to be there forever. And there's going to come a time when these guys are gone, and you're going to need some young guys to step up in their place and on a nice team-friendly deal, right? That's the kind of thing that they're looking at with Kenny Wooten. They're looking at him to say, hey, let's develop this kid. Let's try to get this guy. Let's try to bring him along. And then maybe in 2 years, when we need someone to fill one of these power forward spots off the bench, he's ready to go. So we'll be watching. I'll be watching him in the G League at least. I'll be watching him with the Westchester Knicks to see how he develops, to see how he comes along. I want to know what you think, man. Give me a call, 516-405-2246. I want to talk about Kenny Wooten. I want to know what you think about him. We're going to talk about some of our other players as well. But I want to know what you think about Kenny Wooten. Where does he fit? Do you think one day he's going to have he's going to be able to make a roster, make the Knicks roster, sometime in the near future? Well, not near future, maybe in a couple of years as he's, going through development and learning in the system. I want to know what you think. I'm going to come to Ernesto first, and then I'm going to come over to Sandy. You guys let me know what you guys think, all right? Ernesto, give me 1 second. All right, Ernesto, you got to unmute yourself. Got yourself muted.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you think about Kenny Wooten, man? The Knicks, they signed him. He's going to come in training camp. Yeah, I doubt he's not going to make the team. I expect him to be with the Westchester Knicks. How you feel about him?
I feel real good about it. I really like the signing. I think he's a promising defensive sub who can come out, who can back up at either small forward or power forward position. He's going to be a solid defensive player. Now, everything's going to depend what he can give us on the other side of the ball. But he's not known for his offensive game. He's strictly a defensive player, and something that people need to understand. And in basketball, it's hard to become a defensive player. I mean, you have to have the natural instincts. Like the things, for example, the things that Mitch does under the defensive end, not only is it that's a natural instinct most of the time. Everything he does, it's instinctive. You cannot teach that. You have to be born with that. So, and with Wooten, his timing on blocks, it's something that's natural. It's something you can't teach. It's an instinct.
Yeah.
It's like when a boxer is fighting another boxer, he knows exactly what distance to stay away where he's not gonna get hit with a hard punch. They know exactly when to move and knock their head. That's all instinct. You can't teach that, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have that. Be born with that. If you don't have that, then you can't do what these athletes are able to do. Yeah. And so that's why I like you. Those defensive instincts. Those are natural capabilities. You can't teach that. Now, you can teach a guy how to shoot threes. You can teach guys how to shoot free throws, and with repetition they can get better at it. But as far as to be an elite defender, it has to have its natural abilities, and that's why I like it. Guys like that who have natural abilities like that you can't teach. Those instincts, you have to have players. You have to have players like that. Promising young players like that on the roster, and I actually don't want to even see them in the G League. I want them on the roster, man, because this is what's going to happen. If the Knicks are smart, this is what I would do. First of all, I would all the young guys on the roster, I would have them come off the bench. I wouldn't start anybody young, except in the backfield. Where you're gonna have to have RJ starting, and either Frank or Alfred Payton or DSJ. You're gonna have those two in the backcourt. But as far as the front court, I want even Mitch coming off the bench. I want all our youngsters coming off the bench. What's gonna happen is we have to all the role players that we signed this year on 1-year deals. Mm-hmm. Most of them, I would say, 2 or at the minimum, 2 are going to be traded. I see Morris on a different team. I don't think he's going to end It's going to be an interesting proposition because let's say if the Knicks are doing well and they're in that playoff hunt for the 8th seed, it's going to be interesting to see. They're going to have a tough decision to make. Do they keep the team as is and still and still impact in a negative way the development of the young core and keep the core and keep all the role players and continue on that playoff run, or do we just let's stick to the number one goal, which is the player development? So let's trade, even though if we're battling for a playoff seed, we'll still trade guys like Morris and Bullock for second round picks, so we can give more time in the second part of the season, so we can give more time to the youngsters, right. To our young core and developing them. So that's why I think that's what the group should be. Start the studs. I mean, start the role players, all the guys that you signed through free agency. Try to build up their value, like Morris. I know Bullock is going to miss probably the first couple of months, but guys like Gibson, Morris, and excuse me, and Ellington, try to give them as much time, as much minutes as possible before the trade deadline, so you can get some value for them.
Yeah, so
and then afterwards, once you trade them, then you open up all those minutes, because I see more of our young core getting most of the bulk minutes in the second half of the season once they traded 2 or 3 of these guys. Because right now, as it stands, I mean, you're looking at giving everybody around 20 minutes a game.
Yeah. So are you saying for Kenny Wooten? So for Kenny Wooten, are you saying after some of these guys get traded, he comes up later on in the season?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Out of the only two free agents we signed, I only see Randle and Portis with the possibility of sticking around long term. Other than that, The rest of the guys are just going to be 1-year rentals. So, and I think they'll be gone before the trading deadline, which I think that's the intention. I think that's what Perry had in mind all along. Short-term deals, guys we can turn around, and they're going to help these guys. You're going to help the young core show them how to win some games, because we can't go through another 17-game season.
Okay.
We have to win every 3 games this year.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get to Sandy. See what Sandy thinks. Sandy, what do you think, man?
About Wooten, I like it. I mean, it can't hurt. I mean, it'd be nice to have a winning mentality on all levels, and the big leagues, and I guess you call it the minor leagues. So I'm all for them bringing in players with upside, and I agree with Ernesto completely. We talked about this on another show. I don't see a lot of these players staying the whole year. I see some of them getting traded. So it makes a lot of sense to start grooming guys to take up the place of those who get traded. And he's a perfect kind of kid, and I really hope for Wilkes' sake that he's healthy come training camp and he really comes in good shape and impresses, because they signed him to a 2-way already.
Yeah, he's already been signed to a 2-way. Now, I don't think that the Knicks would, just based at it, just being a good business organization, I don't think that they would move him while he's hurt. But they have the ability. If a guy's on a 2-way, they have the ability to take that 2-way away. And kind of restructure that deal and maybe put somebody else in that spot. I'm going to say this. Right now, Khadeem Allen has a 2-way with the Knicks. It's Khadeem Allen and Chris Wilkes. I wouldn't be surprised if Khadeem Allen's 2-ways, they move on from Khadeem Allen at some point. I think that, Khadeem Allen was there if they were going to, if they were going to be getting, some of these big players and they needed a point guard, then maybe they thought they were going to need a backup point guard or something like that at a cheap price. I think that's what Khadeem Allen was there for. Given the situation now, I'm not exactly sure where Khadeem Allen comes into play. Right? I mean, maybe Ernesto, if you're right, if you're right, and they trade like Elfrid Payton or something like that near the deadline, then maybe he comes into play then. I think that Elfrid Payton will probably get the whole year to try to play and prove himself as an NBA, a legitimate NBA point guard. I don't want to say legitimate. I think he is legitimate. But prove that he could be a legitimate starting point guard for a long haul. I think they're going to give him a chance. You're paying him $8 million a year. It's not a whole lot of money, but I think they might give him a chance to see if he can be, a full-time point guard in the NBA. So I'm not exactly sure where Khadeem Allen fits into the whole situation right now. You know what I mean? And I guess it's possible at some point that Khadeem Allen could, be waived or let go, or however it happens with your 2-way contracts, and then Kenny Wooten jump into one of those 2-way contracts. Because remember, a 2-way contract guy can come up and play. Right? There's a certain number of games that a 2-way contract guy can come up and play. So we'll see. We'll see how that is. Now, with the Knicks having a plethora of forwards, at least in the beginning of the season, I can't see where Kenny Wooten would be coming up to get any playing time if he were on a 2-way contract. So at least at the beginning of the season, that first until December 15th, Khadeem Allen is going to be on that 2-way contract, and Kenny Wooten is probably going to be, just playing with the G League team. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not even sure. Kenny Wooten's got a lot to work on with his offensive game, I think, before he steps on a legitimate NBA floor. That's just my opinion. I think he needs to work on that a little bit, get his offensive game up. So maybe a year or two, work on that offensive game, get a jump shot, get his jump shot better. Maybe try to develop a few offensive moves and then see him jump on the floor. That's just what I think about it. I could be wrong, but I think he's a good guy. The Knicks did a good job bringing him in. He's going to get a chance to, play, get into training camp, learn the system that the Knicks, whatever the system is that the Knicks are going to employ. He's going to get a chance to go through that system. He's going to get a chance to work with some of the NBA guys, and they'll get a chance to see him against NBA competition. So that's never a bad thing, and that's always a good thing, for someone in his position. I do want to remind guys, though, I want to remind everybody that opening night tickets are available. Go to my website, www.NothinButKnicks.com. Right? And you can purchase these. You can purchase not the tickets, but you can make a deposit. Right? So that you can attend NBK opening night with us whenever that opening night is. I'm not exactly sure when that opening night is going to be, but I will get that information from the New York Knicks soon, very soon, in August, actually. I'll get that information, but this is what it is. Okay? It is, before the game, we'll sit courtside and we'll get to watch the guys warm up courtside. And when I say courtside, I mean like right behind the scorer's table. It's a great time. The last time we were there, we got to see Tim Hardaway Sr., chopping it up with Scott Perry and Steve Mills and all these guys right at the score. And I'm talking 10 feet in front of us. They're right there. And then after we leave the court, we go up, we go through the garden, we go up to our lounge. There's food included, so you get food while you're there. Go up to our lounge. We'll have prizes. Play some games. Of course, we're going to watch the game. And obviously, we're going to stream. We will be live streaming at the game right there from the lounge. And it'll be pretty dope. Pretty dope. We'll be a full show. And it'll be fun. We have a lot of guys there talking and having a good time. Who's Mark, Isaiah. All these guys are there. And then after the game, I was speaking to the representative a couple days ago, Monday. We're going to go down and shoot free throws on the Garden Court. Who doesn't want to shoot free throws on the Garden Court? We'll go down and shoot free throws on the Garden Court. After we shoot the free throws on the Garden Court, we'll get the group and we'll head over to Clyde's. Have a nice dinner at Clyde's. That dinner at Clyde's is on your own, so you don't have to go. It's on your own as far as, paying for it, so you don't have to go. But we'll all go as a group and hang out at Clyde's and have a good time and chop it up. So make sure you get in on the festivities, man. I know you want to get in on the festivities. All right, so here you go. I'm going to put this link in. And Quiet Money, I'm definitely going to get that Cash App up. I appreciate you. So here is the link so that you can buy. You can put a down payment to your tickets for opening night, because it's coming up quick, man. It's coming up quick, and I know you want to get in. Now, I want to talk about, let's move on from that. All right? I'll move on from that. The link is right there, so make sure that you jump in on that. Let's just talk about our players. All right. I want to hear from you, though. 516-405-2246. Call in. Talk to me a little bit. But let's talk about our players. We talked about Kenny Wooten. Now I want to talk about Frank Ntilikina. We talked about him a little bit earlier, but I want to talk about him a little bit more. Listen, we've seen the videos. We see the videos. Frank Ntilikina is working out. He definitely looks a lot bigger, a lot stronger. He's working on his jump shot. He's working on moves. I would still like to see him working on it. I hope that he's still working on his defense, because the one thing I'll say about Frank Ntilikina last season is his one calling card, which was defense. That's his calling card. And while he was still a good defender, I felt like he didn't defend up to par or where he can defend. Now I think it's natural. It is very natural for him to take a step back. And this is why I say that, because when you're in your second year in the league, guess what's going to happen? People are going to know, okay, he's a defender. Oh, okay, he's a defender. I'm going at him. Not only are they going at you, but now there may be more screens you got to go over, right? There's going to be different actions because they know the not the rumor, but it is out that you're a defender. So now teams scheme against you, okay? They're playing against you. So, of course, he had to deal with that in the second year. It's just like an offensive player. A player who is gifted offensively comes into the league. They may have a little bit of trouble in their second year. Why? Because teams are now scheming for them. They're game planning for them. You are now on their scouting report. You see what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure Frank Ntilikina, when he was in the game and they knew he was going to play, he was on a scouting report as a defender. Right? And they say, okay, this is what we're going to do against Frank Ntilikina, da-da-da-da-da. So I feel like Frank Ntilikina had an off year defensively. He's only a second year in the league. All right. So do I want to say off year defensively, or, I feel like Frank Ntilikina in his sophomore year didn't live up to the hype defensively. Obviously, offensively, he did not. Took a step back offensively in his second year, which probably makes sense too, because, it's his second year. He's on the game plan a little bit more. People can scout him out a little bit more. They know, limited as it was, they know what he wanted to do. They would know what he wanted to do offensively if there was anything. So he's got to come back sharper on defense, which I think he will. He just seems like a hardworking kid to me, very hardworking kid. I want him to come back sharper. Then obviously offensively, he's got to come back stronger, better offensively. He's got to shoot a better percentage from the field. He's got to be able to get to the basket a little bit more. Sometimes he was a little bit lazy on some of his passes. In my opinion, he's got to be able to put that thing out there and not expect that it's just going to get there because he passed it, but always expect that someone's there to steal it and really put a little bit of steam on that pass. Sometimes his passes were lazy. Don't get me wrong. Frank Ntilikina is my guy. I really do like Frank Ntilikina, and I want Frank Ntilikina to do well in the NBA. I want him to be part of the New York Knicks, but he's got to do his part. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big Frank Ntilikina supporter, but he's got to do his part. And I think he will. So he's got to come back, and I'm expecting him to come back even stronger this season. I'm hoping he's going to come back even stronger this season. I want to see. He's in a precarious situation. Man. We don't know where he fits in right now on his team. And it's not going to do Frank Ntilikina any good whatsoever to ride the bench. So then the question comes, does he play some time in the G League? If he's not getting 20 minutes a game, does he play in the G League? Right? Does he play do you put him down in the G League if he's not getting 20 minutes a game? Is he going to get moved? I mean, there's a lot of people that are saying his that the time is up. I mean, my question to you, let me ask you, is it just time for the Knicks and Frank Ntilikina to part ways? I don't think so, because like Ernesto and a lot of people are saying, the guys that we signed this year are not going to be here forever. So this may be a perfect situation for him to develop a little bit more without the pressure on him to be so much of a producer on the floor, to let him go ahead, take a step back and develop his game without that pressure. Maybe this is a good time for him. I don't know. But he's in a precarious situation, and I'm not sure where it's going to go with Frank Ntilikina. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I'm gonna get over here to the chat and see what these guys think, because it's definitely going to be tough for Frank. Sandy, I'm gonna come to you first. All right. Talk to me, Sandy. What do you think, Frank Ntilikina, man?
I mean, what are we going to do? Sit him on the bench, get a really crappy second-round pick for him come trade deadline? The kid, he's still young. He's still younger than a lot of guys that, kids come. We knew he was a project when they drafted him. No one expected him to start and be amazing right off the bat. We knew what we were getting. We were getting a kid that was really good defensively and had to be worked on the other things. That hasn't changed, and he didn't really have his season last year kind of sucked because he just really never fit in with what they were trying to do. He ended up part of the. It's just so hard to even know what they were trying to do last year, other than lose games. This year, hopefully, it's more about development than lottery, even though they're going to be in the lottery anyway. But it makes no sense to just give up on him yet.
I definitely agree with you. There's no way that I want to give up on Frank Ntilikina.
And I'm not sure he has to be playing at point guard. I think he's capable of, depending on the lineup, being placed at the 1, the 2, and the 3.
But even there, see, I mean, I get that, right? But even there, let me ask you, where does he fit in? Even if he's playing at the 1, the 2, the 3, where does he fit in? I mean, you look at
that.
You look at the 1 spot. The 1 spot is filled. You look at the 2 spot. The 2 spot is filled. The 3 spot is filled. I'm not sure where we go. I mean,
that's the problem. That's why for him to get minutes, it's going to have to be at more than just a point. And I agree with you. I still don't know where you're going to find him a bunch of minutes. This team has so many, such depth now. Is it mega talented depth that's going to lead us into the playoffs? No, but it's still depth. And they're all legitimate NBA players. So it's going to be hard, but I mean, you just got to figure out what you want to do, what they have to, what they want to do with them.
Yeah. So that's the question. I see who's Mark just joined us. I'm gonna jump over here to who's Mark. Hey, Mark. I hope you got your audio right. Mark, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm doing my thing right now. You know what I'm saying? We rocking out on other platforms until the YouTube jumps off again. But we're doing good. Tell me, man. You're breaking up a little bit. But tell me. Yeah, you're breaking up. You're kind of breaking up.
All right, let me get my phone.
You probably got mad apps going, man. Turn off all those apps.
No, I'm on my phone.
Oh, well, you got to upgrade your phone then, man.
I'm upgraded, bro. Let me just get my headphones for a second.
Yeah, go ahead, get your stuff right. I'm gonna come to Ernesto. And if you want to call in, folks, call in 516-405-2246. Ernesto.
What's going on, brother?
What do we do with Frank? What are we doing with him? Where we at with him? I mean, if the kid's not gonna play, I would much rather that the Knicks, if they're not gonna play him and they can't use him, if they don't think they can use him, don't just let him hang out there and dwindle out there. Put him in a position where he can develop, and maybe he can go into a spot where he can play. Right now, like I said, and like you said, some of these guys may not be here. So as they move on, you may need Frank Ntilikina. So let me ask you, is it a perfect situation for him to be able to take a step back and not have to have the pressure of being a productive player and just learn and grow and work on his game, or do you think this relationship is nearing its end? What do you think?
Well, you know me, Sam. I've always been a Frank supporter, and the way I feel about Frank is his floor is. I mean, the way I see Frank's floor, he can be a role player who can back up 3 different positions in the NBA, and that has a lot of value. That's his floor. A guy who can back up 3 different positions on a championship level team. That kind of role player. To me, that's Frank's floor. Meaning a guy who can come in, he can play at the point guard, he can play at the 2, he can play at the small forward, he can guard 1, 2, 3. That's his floor. What his ceiling is, none of us know. The bottom line is the Knicks need to play him. They need to play him. They need to see what they have in Frank. Let's be real. This is Frank's 3rd year. Okay? The first year, what happened? Hornacek, how many games did he start? How many games did he start his rookie season? What? He probably started, 15, 20 games? They had him riding the bench all year long behind fucking Jarrett Jack. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Probably my French, but
cool.
I get a little bit emotional when the Knicks could just keep on doing stupid things. And then, and how many games did he play last year? They buried him behind Moutier. They brought in Trey Burke. Then he got injured. And where's Moutier now? Why'd you start Moutier a bunch of freaking games? What for?
All right, so let me ask you this, though. In all fairness, and of course, I want
you gotta play them. The bottom line is that the Knicks don't have. They don't know what they haven't played.
Let me ask you
because they haven't played them. They haven't given them a true chance. They haven't given. Look, what they had to do with Frank the first year is look. Here's the ball. You're gonna be the point guard all year long. We don't care how many times you mess up. We want to see what you can do. Well, you're going to be the point guard the entire year. Here's the ball.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you
by this time, we would have known exactly what we had in front.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this, right? Because when does it come a time? I mean, I do get it, right? You want them to play, you gotta let them play. But if you bring in competition, and that's what they did, they brought in competition. Whether or not Moutier is still here, you got Dennis Smith Jr. here. I'm a big believer that you gotta earn your spot. You know what I'm saying? You gotta earn your keep. And if he didn't earn his keep in the eyes of Fizdale, does it benefit Frank Ntilikina to play him anyway? Or does it benefit him to say, you know what, you didn't really earn your keep? Because they gave him a chance to start last year. He started at the 3 spot over Kevin Knox the first few games of the season. And then he started at the 1. He had, he had his time at the 1 for a little bit. If he didn't earn his keep, is it fair to just say, well, we're just going to leave you there because you didn't earn your keep? I mean, I get what you're saying about letting him play through his mistakes, right? But if you're actually having a competition and he didn't earn his keep within that competition, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just a big believer that you got to earn your keep. And I love Frank Ntilikina. I want Frank Ntilikina I wanted him to be the starting point guard. Trust me, I did. But I think I'm not ready to say he fully earned his keep last year. Well,
the Knicks messed up. His rookie year, they should have just let him be the point guard the entire year. That way, we would have had a full assessment of what Frank would have been fully capable. We would have seen something. But as it is, we can't really look. They brought in point guard after point guard. This is a kid who is shy, who was very shy. He's a timid guy. And he was basically, they didn't have any trust in him. They didn't even trust him. They brought in point guard after point guard, and he was lacking confidence, and they even buried his confidence even further. They cemented it. That's what the Knicks did. That's what the Knicks have done. Look what the Knicks did with Knox last season. They started him, and even when Knox was playing horrible, what did they do? Frank's, I mean, Fitz still starting. He's still standing him out there. They let Knox know, look, you're gonna start basically all the games. Just go through all the bad bumps, and go through all the bad slumps. We're gonna play you. And Knox knew that. Frank never had an opportunity like the opportunity Knox received this season.
Okay, that's true, and there was a different coach, right? Jeff Hornacek was the coach, and Jeff Hornacek was playing for his job, believe it or not. Some people, may choose not to believe that, but he was definitely playing for his job. You know what I mean? And so that's why he was playing Jack. And I do know, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, look, he was playing Jack, but he was playing for his job. And at the time, Jack was.
Yeah, but look,
better.
But this is when Steve Perry has to step in and say, look, we want you to play Ntilikina the whole freaking season. Either you do that or we fire you right now on the spot. And when the season ends, you're probably not going to be here anyways, man, to be honest with you. So play him or we fire you right now. What's the deal? It's simple as that. Play Ntilikina. We want to see what we have in it. We know what the hell Jack is, period. Yeah. It's simple, man. It just pisses me off. You can't be wasting seasons like this. That's a huge opportunity. And it was wasted. That's the bottom line. Look, Frank is going to be 21 years old next week. He turns 21.
Right.
Next week. I think it's like the 28th or something of July.
Right.
He turns 21. So he's still a kid.
Right.
Like I said, his floor is a high-level defender who can back up 3 different positions. That's his floor. Now you got to see what you really have. And the only way to know, because I know Frank offensively, he has to develop that Euro step with the basket, finishing at the rim with the floaters. He can develop that part of his game. It's there. Those shots haven't been going down for him, but I think they will. I think he'll have a decent offensive game. When it all said and done, I see Frank averaging for his career around 14, 15 points. That's how I see Frank. And as far as his perimeter shooting, I think he has much more capabilities than DSJ. DSJ is going into his 3rd season, and now he's still working on his form. That's not a good sign, man. When you all of a sudden you'll be working your shots and your mechanics, your shooting mechanics, when you're going into your 3rd year in the NBA. Are you kidding me?
I hear you there.
That's not a good thing. That's not a good sign at all.
Yeah, I hear you there. I hear you there. He's working on it, but it doesn't mean that he can't. I think he could still fix it. I think he's still young enough to be able to fix it if he actually puts in the work and builds that muscle memory. And it sounds like he's building that muscle memory. I mean, but Frank's got to work on his too. Frank had to do, he's still doing some readjusting on his shot. Mark, I'm gonna come to you. Actually, I'm gonna come to this phone call, Mark, and then I'll come to you. All right, caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
Hey, what's going on with you, bro?
Nothing much.
Yeah, so go ahead, man. Give me your thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts. Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina is always a heated discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go ahead, man. Frank Ntilikina. What do what are we doing with him? Where are we at with him? What are we doing? We got to figure out something with Frank.
I think with Frank, what we need to do is let him go to the G League, start the season in the G League, and get reps under him. We can't start him over Elfrid Payton and Dennis Smith Jr. He's not good enough. But he can go down to the G League and learn. I mean, he should have gone down there last year. I mean, he just needs to get good reps. He needs to get good, solid minutes under his belt and go down there, start as a point guard, run the team, show that he can run the team, show that he's working on his offense. His defense is there, but his offense isn't good enough to play. He gets exposed. You can't have him out there as a negative offensive player. So
okay,
he should go down there and get his reps, go out there and show everybody what he can do, or get exposed. And then know what we got with there. I mean, better point guards than him have been in the G League, and they thrive or they fall. I don't like this getting mad because we didn't give him the reins. He didn't earn the reins. He wasn't. He's not good. He's not better than Moutier. He's not better than Trey Burke. He's not better than Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, go down the list. I mean, he's not better. There's four guys I would play at point guard before Frank on this team right now. So, I mean, I just say the G League's probably his best bet if he wants to stay a Knick.
Well, you know, we got to give him the training camp. See how he comes back in the training camp first before we just say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? You know, see how he comes back in the training camp. He may come in the training camp
and he goes and balls out, and he takes the spot from somebody, and he earned it. But the fact if he doesn't go out there and he's not playing if he's not, you know, if Elfrid Payton's out playing him and Dennis Smith Jr. is out playing him and Schreier and RJ and Dotson and Khadeem Allen, I mean, how can we just say, oh, give Frank the reins, and then he goes out there and we lose a bunch of games? I'd just rather see him go down there and get solid work and learn how to become an NBA point guard.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, it's going to be a tough task for him. Hey, my man, I appreciate the call. I'm going to get the Who's Mark in the chat and see what Who's Mark got to say. You know, Mark has an opinion. You know what I mean? So we're gonna
have a good night, guys.
Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate it. All right, Mark. It's on you, bro.
Listen, y'all guys need to take it easy on the boy Frank, man. Let me not say that. What I do want to say, he only played 43 games. His problem was last year that he was hurt. Last year was basically another show out for him. Should have been another show out for him. But due to his ghost injuries, we couldn't see it. So when y'all talking like he played 50, 60 games last year, he didn't. He only played 43. So you couldn't really see a development there. That's why you see Moutier and those guys. They called up Trey Burke and those guys. That's why you see them play, because Frank hardly played last year. His first year, he played 78 games. He showed you signs that he was able to do things on the floor. He wasn't good. He wasn't good at, he wasn't elite at what he did. Besides, defensively, if you had the right, defensive player behind him. But he's not just a point guard. He's just an all-purpose type of player. When you watch his game, he's an all-purpose type of player. This role y'all trying to sink him in? No, he's not. He's not a.
But see,
he's not a full-time point guard. He's just not a full-time point guard.
Right, but
he's just not.
But see, Mark, I agree with you, right? I don't think that he's. I think he's a point guard. Right, I think he can be a point guard, but he's not a full-time point guard because he can play multiple positions. It's just on this team, where does he even fit in those other positions right now?
Okay, so this is what I see. The kid is only 21, right?
Right.
So the Knicks, I was looking for like the next 2 years, even with free agency, I think we're gonna lose in 2021. So I'm not even thinking about that right now. The Knicks is gonna take up his contract. I think his next contract, they're gonna pick that up. Because it's best for them to do that, because it gives them this year and next year to see what we really got. And plus, there's no, like I said,
there's no free agent 2020.
2019 was the free agent that you're supposed to go. Other than that, I don't care about no free agency coming down this pipeline. Honest to truth, because most of those guys are either going to return to their teams or going to go to a team that's really going to contend. I looked at that list, and there's only two to three people that I feel that would change the Knicks' life, and I don't think we have a chance at them. So right now, we're predicated on what we have now. My mindset is on those guys now. So this 2021, I'm just off of it. I'm so depressed of it. I'm just off of it. But with Frank, we have 2 years to see what he really got. I think he's going to get his minutes because, again, Dotson isn't consistent enough to have like his minutes. So it's going to be a battle between him and Dotson. I see it's between Dotson and Frank. I see a lot because I don't think Bullock is going to play the first couple of months, so that will give those guys time to display their talent. And I was at Carmelo's gym today.
Okay.
I ain't going to hold you. Dennis Smith looks like he's ready to go. Like, when I mean, bro, how light he looks, his athleticism is off the charts. I ain't gonna hold you. And his jump shot, they worked on it tremendously. That hitch is nowhere to be seen. He's following through with his elbow inside, and it looks like he can make shots. He's making shots off the dribble. I seen that today. It was cool to see that. And it's just his weight, you could tell that Fitz said, listen, you have a goal. If you don't reach that goal, you ain't playing. And when I mean that kid was just flying and getting to his spots, it was cool to see, because he's gonna be our point guard for next year. So I have to get used to it. You know, it's already been done, but he looks better. He looks tremendous. I say he looks tremendous. He looks tremendous. It was kind of nice to see today. But with Frank, man, he's just an all-purpose guy. He's just a guy that's going to do the things on the floor. Just to put him in a point guard role, y'all need to erase that from your mind, because he's not going to be a full-time point guard. There's going to be times where the ball is going to call for him, and there's going to be times where the ball doesn't. I look at him, you know what I look at him? I look at him like as Andre Iguodala. He could play point, but he's just an all-purpose type of talent. That's just what he is. And that's when Phil drafted him, it was for that, because if you watch him in FIBA, he wasn't running the point guard full time.
Right.
He was an all-purpose type of player.
Right.
So when you remove that stigma that you guys have from your head, it'll be a little more easier going to the next season, you know, seeing what he could bring. But the thing is, Sim, what is important for him, the jump shot has to go in. It has to. That's the only way he will stay on this team, is because I think they like him defensively, but it's the jump shot. And he can't be on the floor as a liability like that, because teams will sag off and teams will double team our best players, and we don't want to have that. We want to have threats on the floor as much as possible, especially on the perimeter. If his shots don't go down, then it's going to be hard to keep him. It really is. The shots has to go down. That's my big main thing with him. When he's open, he has to knock down those shots. But his talent is, he's going to be an NBA player, but he's an all-purpose type of player. He's not just a point guard.
And see, what I feel is that the Knicks, I agree with you. I think that the Knicks are going to pick up his option. And even if he doesn't play much this season, I think they're going to pick up his option and, you know, let him learn and develop behind all these vets that's on the team. It gives him a chance where the pressure is not on him. And you know,
there you go. There you go.
All these guys are not going to be here. You know what I mean?
Because Sim, look at this. Let me tell you what was the difference the 2 years is that the roster we had, we looked at him as a key piece, you know, because we drafted him.
Right.
So when you put that type, we're expecting more than the usual.
Agreed.
Now that we have guys like Wayne Ellington, these are guys that are going to play like 10 to 15 minutes. So there's going to be minutes depending on who shows out the most on this team. So if Kevin Knox takes this jump that we're expecting him, it's going to be hard to not keep Knox on the floor because the minutes that he gets, it's going to be 30 plus every night with him. Yeah. RJ's going to, depending on RJ's play, if he plays up to par, he's going to get 25 to 30 minutes. So the fighting that now it's going to be, the fighting is going to be between Trier, because you know Trier's going to come. He's coming. So he's coming. And then it's going to be Dotson, it's going to be Wayne Ellington, Elfrid Payton, and Dennis Smith. Those 5 guys are going to be a slugfest. So those minutes right there, it's going to be so crucial for Frank. But the thing with Frank is, what he has all over those players, he has a defensive ability that fits once in his players. And that is some natural that comes to his game. So that he will always find his way of getting on the court. But if he knocks down shots, Sim, he's going to get those minutes.
Okay.
Because he's 6'7", 200 and something pounds, and he can cause. When you watch him defensively, He just ruins teams' offense, and that's what you want on the perimeter. That's what you want.
And
he's a disruptive guard.
You know, David Fizdale, you know, has said in the past he just said Frank Ntilikina knows how to play the basketball game. He knows how to play basketball.
When you watch him, Sim, when you watch him, just when he makes the right plays. The only thing I didn't like is that he wasn't aggressive enough, but that comes in time.
Yeah, I mean, look, the bottom line is with Frank is he's got to bring it this season.
He has to. Like when he has the ball, he has to go somewhere with a purpose. That was his problem. Yeah. He would dribble without a purpose. Now, if he started dribbling with a purpose, I'm cool with that. I always say this. He necessarily didn't have to make a shot, but he had to get in the teeth of the defense to cause some type of defensive lapses for the defensive side of the team, so we can create for others. That's why we never was a good shooting team, because the teams were just loading. The teams was playing one-on-one defense. You know, they wasn't loading up much on us. Yeah. So with Frank, what he does is how he reads the offense on the other team side, and how he disrupts it on defense. I've seen so many plays where he gets his hands and swipes and stuff like that. That is important. Yeah, it's important because it creates fast breaks.
Yep, I agree.
It creates a whole lot of offense.
Let me ask you this. How do you feel about him? He's going to be playing in FIBA.
No, that's great. That is great.
How do you feel?
That is great, because I'm hearing the last caller. Yo, I'm sorry, but sometimes his calling sometimes just kills my ears. But to put him in the D League, no, you don't put him in the D League. He can play NBA basketball.
Okay, but let me ask you: if let's say he's not getting minutes,
yeah,
then what? You just gonna have him sit on the bench?
I rather him in an NBA atmosphere than a G League. Okay. Like he showed me that he can play NBA type of level game, even if he doesn't make a shot. But he know how to read. When you know how to read the game, you can play. You can play on any team. Look at Andre Iguodala. He's not a good shooter, but what makes him great is that he can read the game. When you watch players like that, I always say this, these European players, they know how to read the game on a level that American players, it takes a while, it takes a long time for them to read it. When you watch these guys that come overseas, they know how to play the game by reading the game very well. He know how to read the game. He might not make a shot, but his angles on defense and how he disrupts offenses, it is great to watch, and that's what you need. So when, like I said, he needs to come in. That's why I love him going over FIBA, because FIBA ball, I think their product is better than NBA ball, because I like the 40 minutes. I like basketball. They don't call so much overseas. They do not call so much, and you play the right way. They play the right way, Sim. They make the right reads. They make the right the offensive structure. It is so great, man. These teams know what they're doing.
I get it. My only thing is he had enough time. I would have still liked to have seen him play in the summer league. Even though I know third-year players don't always play, I would have liked to see Frank play. I think it would have benefited from him. He's going and he's going to play in FIBA, but it's going to be a different style of play than he's playing for the Knicks, at least. It still can benefit him. Now, the one thing I will say, with the team that the Knicks have this year, it might really benefit Frank Ntilikina.
It is, because we're not going to look at him as a piece that we're on his back. But he's going to have time to develop and grow.
Yeah, but even with the style of players that we have while he's on the floor, people that knock down at three. People that are going to appreciate a little bit more ball movement, getting set up, I think it can really benefit him. Before I want to just jump real quick, since we're talking about
go ahead
Ntilikina playing in FIBA. We'll get a chance to see Frank play later on in August, early September, just before training camp hits. We'll get a chance to see Frank play and see what he's been doing. All right, Frank is playing for the French team for FIBA basketball for the World Cup. Okay, and you can see, listen, he's playing for the French team, and he's playing with NBA players, right? So a lot of people were saying, I really would have liked to have him play in the Summer League, but he's going to be playing with NBA players. You can see from this picture right here who's on the roster. And I'll go down and look at the roster. The Knicks actually have 2 players on the French roster. All right, so we'll go down. We'll take a look at these guys real quick. All right, but he's going to be playing against, in practice, while he's practicing, he's going to be playing against NBA players. And there's NBA players all over these, these FIBA teams. Not to mention USA. I don't know France. I don't think France plays against USA unless they, move on and advance or whatever it is. But you see, you got Andrew Ablisi. I'm not sure who that is. You got Nicholas Batum, Nando Di Colo, Evan Fournier is on the team. Rudy Gobert is on the team. Thomas Hurtel, I'm not sure about that guy. Louis Laborie, and if you remember, that's the guy with the big hair that the Knicks, the Knicks, the Knicks hold his rights, but he's never touched an NBA floor. He's been in summer league a few times. Paul Lacombe, Matthias Lesort, Timothy Kongbo, Amath Mbaye, Adrian Morman, Frank Ntilikina. They got him listed at 6'4". That's probably not right. I think he's like 6'7". And you see the other guys on the team. Anyway, the Knicks Frank Ntilikina is going to be playing with NBA guys and with grown men professionals that's been playing professional basketball for a while. All right. We could take a look at the schedule. All right. The first game is France versus Germany. That's Sunday, September 1st. Now, I'm not exactly sure where it's going to be aired in the NBA. I'm sorry, in America, not the NBA. I'm not sure where it's going to be aired in America. If we're going to be able to see it, we may need to, try to jump on some kind of other stream, and it probably is going to be played at like 3:00 in the morning or something like that. But anyway, France versus Germany, Sunday, September the 1st. September 2nd, Tuesday, September the 3rd. Jordan plays against France versus Jordan. The next game is France versus the Dominican Republic, and that is Thursday, September the 5th. All right, so that is Frank Ntilikina's schedule with the FIBA team, with the France national team. That's the schedule right there, and then we'll see. Maybe they'll get a few more games after that. All right, so we'll see if Frank Ntilikina is going to be able to perform. We'll get a chance to watch him play. So we'll get a chance to watch him play. And listen, he'll be in shape coming into training camp. That's another thing. He'll definitely be in shape. He might be in the best shape of his life. If you look back, you remember back, Carmelo Anthony had some of the best times of his career coming out of playing with the USA national team. Speaking of the USA national team, Julius Randle is going into training camp with the U.S. national team. All right. And there's not much on the U.S.'s page right now. You're not going to be able to see a roster, excuse me, and all of that. Okay, so the U.S. page needs to be updated. But Julius Randle is going to be playing for the, or in training camp, go to training camp for the U.S. national team. Big shout out to Julius Randle for that. There's been a lot of players that have, decided not to play for the national team. So Julius Randle's number was called, and he'll be in training camp. So listen, he's gonna come in shape as well. Whether or not he's on the team, plays on the team, I don't know, but he's gonna come in shape. I like that. I really do. I like that. Guys coming in shape. I want to give a big shout out to my man Quiet Money. Thank you, Quiet Money, for hitting me with the hit me on the Cash App, the Nothing But Knicks Cash App. And it's simple. It's $ Nothing But Knicks. So I appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate the support. But yeah, Julius Randle is going to be playing for the in training camp for the U.S. national team. Good thing. Frank Ntilikina is going to be playing in FIBA. We're going to get a chance to see Frank play. It's a good thing. That's what's going on with the Knicks right now. You heard Mark talk about Dennis Smith Jr. And listen, I didn't see Dennis Smith Jr. the way that Mark probably seen him. But I did get a chance to, just see a couple of interviews with Frank Ntilikina. With Dennis Smith Jr. And he looked lean. He looked cut. He looks serious. It looks to me like Dennis Smith Jr. is really taking this season serious. And sometimes it just takes something to click for these guys to say, oh, this is what I got to do to be successful in the NBA. Sometimes it just takes that. Takes something for it to click. And maybe it's happened with Dennis Smith Jr. I want to see a good season, a good year from Dennis Smith Jr. I feel like Dennis Smith Jr. is that one guy that he can really go to another level. I feel like he can. And if he can go to that next level, who knows what can happen with the Knicks. I feel like Dennis Smith Jr. can take it there. I'm hoping that he can take it there. So I want you to call in. Right now we're just, I'm just kind of in a question and answer mode now. We did some updates, some, player updates. Bobby Portis. I want to talk a little bit about Bobby Portis. I like the things that Bobby Portis is saying about the team. And see, that's what I like about the guys that we picked up, man. So a lot of these guys have chips on their shoulders because they've been overlooked. And they exude confidence. They're exuding confidence. They're coming in with confidence. They feel like they can go to another level of play. And they feel like the opportunity is here. I like that. And I like the things that Bobby Portis is saying. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. But I like the fact that these guys are bringing that level of, that aura of confidence and want to show people that they can take their game to the next level. That's important. That's important. If you have questions, man, give me a call, 516-405-2246. You can you can leave them in the chat. I'm going to try to catch them in the chat if you have questions. All right? So, if you have any questions, just shoot them out there and I'll try to catch them. If not, I'll look back and I'll catch them in a video and I'll do a video. All right? So right now it's just open floor, man. It's open mic time right now. And we're going to talk about whatever goes for the next 20 minutes or so. It's open mic. You know what I mean? So whatever's on your mind, I want to talk about it as it pertains to the New York Knicks. As it pertains to the New York Knicks. Give me a call, 516-405-2246. If you're seeing this on the YouTube replay, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, post in my community section. If you're on Twitch, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, follow me there, share it. I want you guys to share this out so that people can join and talk to us. Because I know there's a lot of questions out there that people have. Right? A lot of questions out there. So I'm going to try to jump in and get to a couple of questions right now. See what people are thinking. See what people are talking about. I see, I guess it's GSUS Days. You say, what's his potential? And I don't know if you're talking about Bobby Portis or not. I think Bobby Portis, if you're talking about Bobby Portis when you ask what's his potential, or if you're asking about Dennis Smith Jr., I'll answer for both of them. Bobby Portis, I think, Bobby Portis, I don't know if he's ever going to be an all-star type of a guy, but I think he's a very good role player type of a guy. I think he'd be a good role player on a good team. A guy, one of those guys that you could just rely on to give you production. You know, if you have a good team, you know, when the Knicks become a good team, and if he's still here, he's one of those guys that I think he'll be able to give you some production. You know, even if he's coming off the bench, you know, he can come in and give you 14 and 10 on a given night. You know what I mean? That's what I think about him. You asked about Frank's potential. Okay. So with Frank's potential, I think that Frank Ntilikina, oh, geez, it's hard to say. Frank Ntilikina has a lot of skill, I think. He has a lot of skill. I think he has a lot of untapped and unleashed potential. Right? It hasn't really been tapped into, and the right coaches, the right people, I think, can tap into it. And I'm hoping that Coach David Fizdale is the guy that can really tap into Frank Ntilikina's potential. You know, he's not super athletic. That's okay. He doesn't have to be super athletic, but he has a very good basketball IQ. He understands the basketball game, knows how to play the basketball game. He's got to fix that shot. If he can fix that shot, you know, if he can fix that shot, who knows what he can do? You know, you say Frank reminds me a lot of Lonzo, but I never liked Lonzo, and I'm a Lakers fan. He does. He reminds me a lot of Lonzo. I do like Lonzo Ball. And here's the reason why, and it's because of a lot of the same things with Frank Ntilikina. I feel like that both of those guys are kind of like a prototype of what point guards are going to be in the future, size-wise. That's my opinion. You know, as we get 6-7 more years down the line, I feel like most of your point guards are going to be between 6'5" and 6'7". And they both are guys that are not afraid to share the ball, play defense, and they get the ball up the floor. I love point guards and guards, just guards in general, that are not afraid to get the ball up the floor, right? I like to see guys get the ball up the floor, push it up the floor, get it ahead. That's how you get your early offense going. You know what I'm saying? You get the ball up, you get your early offense going. They make the pass that leads to the assist. And that, a lot of times, is a very important pass. Because sometimes that point guard can see the assist, or that guard or that person with the ball can see the assist coming, and they make that pass. Some players cannot see that assist coming, and they don't make the pass. I think both those guys do that. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. Chester, my man Chester.
Hey.
What's going on with you?
How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing good. How you been?
I've been good. I've been following you, trying to jump around between all the different formats you're on.
I know, man. I know.
And I wrote a letter to YouTube. I found out I got their fax number. I sent them a letter, but I never heard back from them.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, I was on the phone with YouTube today. Not on the phone. I was in a chat with YouTube today, and I told them, I said, hey, I submitted my counter notification. And, you know, when you read everything, it says you submit your counter notification, and if they haven't responded with their lawyers within 10 days, then the strike comes off. Everything comes off. So I'm like, this is day 11. It's been 11 days. I haven't heard anything from them. I haven't heard anything from you. And I told him, I said, I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
I'm not copyrighting anybody's stuff. So, you know, the guy said, you know, let me follow up and see what's going on. So hopefully I hear back from him tomorrow or something.
I hope so. So anyway, you know, like I don't know what you're talking about right now, but before you were talking about Frank Ntilikina, and everybody's like, where is he going to get his minutes? I mean, you can't have like a whole team of just offensive players. You need somebody who can come in and stop people on the other team. And that's the thing that Frank brings. He is a basketball player, like Mark said. He can play. He's got a high basketball IQ. He doesn't have to be the point guard. I mean, we can't have, you know, like Cantor was so great on offense last year. What did he do on defense? Nothing. He killed us. And I think that's what, you know, with Frank, he could be a stopper on defense. He can come in and guard 3 different positions. So I think he has a chance to get the minutes. He's got to produce, but I think that's where he can get his minutes.
Okay, and that's what I'm hoping, and I agree with you. That's what he has to do. He has a calling card. That's the one thing that some players his age come into the league and they don't have a calling card. Frank has a calling card already. He's got to hang his hat on that until the other side of his game develops. And that's you're right. That's what I think he's got to do. He's got to hang his hat on being a defensive guy. And if he can knock down a couple of threes, if he can get his 3-point shot up to 35%, and right now just be a 3-and-D guy, it'd be great.
I know. The thing I don't understand about him, and you're a basketball coach, he's got like the fastest feet on defense. How come it doesn't translate over to offense? I mean, he can move his feet like so fast on defense. Yeah,
and I think a lot of it is thinking. When you're thinking on the court, you're not reacting, right? And I think on the offensive end, he's still trying to figure out where he fits in. I feel like trying to figure out where he fits in, what he's supposed to do. I don't think he's used to playing the type of system that Fizdale wants to play, right? They play like a up-tempo. They want to get up and run. Frank Ntilikina hasn't played in that growing up. So, he's been in it, now for 2 years. Well, I mean, I don't know, 1 year actually, because with Jeff Hornacek, it was kind of a mix between the triangle and trying to play up tempo, which really didn't work out. So now he's really trying to learn how to play more of a freestyle type of game, and he hasn't been wired to do that. So I think he's doing a lot of thinking out there on the court. Which means you're not going to move as fast, because you're thinking about what to do instead of actually just reacting to what the defense does. You're thinking about it a lot more.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a lot of offensive moves either, right? So, and he doesn't have a lot of offensive moves. Creating for himself it's not instinctual. So he's just not like boom, making a quick move to create for himself. Defense, you don't really have to think much. You can just go. On the offensive side, now he's trying to figure out how to make moves and some things like that. So, it's a work in progress for him.
Well, I hope he gets a chance because I really like him, and I think he got like Mark said, he got injured, which really, hampered his progress quite a bit. And I just hope he gets a chance. I always like the players that the Knicks get. And I'm really optimistic about this season. I think that, we can play traditional style. We can play small ball. Mm-hmm. We can play big if we have to. And I think that's really going to win us a lot of games, a lot more than we won last year. But then, after the opening game last year when we beat Atlanta, I think by the largest margin of the season of any other, we were all so psyched that we were going to have a good season. Look what happened.
Right.
So, we'll see.
Yeah. I'm hoping, man. But I think even though last year we came out that way, we still had a lot of young guys, right, that just didn't know how to be consistent. This year, I think we have some older guys that understand a little bit better how to be consistent.
Right.
And I think
you're right.
I think that's going to help out a lot. Yeah.
All right. I just want to let you know I'm still following you and looking forward to opening night. And
I appreciate it, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to opening night. I can't wait. Thank you for writing a letter to YouTube and hopefully the way things are nowadays, everybody wants to do, no one, it's hard to speak to people, actually get someone on the phone. But thank you. I really appreciate it. You wrote a letter to him, and hopefully we get that situation cleared up shortly, man.
Okay, good enough. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you, Chester. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you're thinking, man. I want to know what you're thinking. Give me a call, 516-405-2246. If you have questions, if you have comments, I want to hear them, so that we can respond. We can talk about them. I got about 10 more minutes left before I'm jumping up out of here. You know what I mean? So if you got any questions or anything, lay them on me. I'm gonna come back to my man Mark, and then I'm gonna hit Ernesto and Sandy, and just see if there's anything these guys want to talk about. Mark, I'm coming to you, man. Just anything on your mind that you want to comment about. Right now, we open mic style right now. You hear me, Mark?
Yeah, I hear you all. We open mic?
You open mic, man. Anything you want to comment on? Where you want to go to?
All right, you know what I want to compliment on? I want to know, what do you think? What's the next free agent? I feel like for the Knicks to get good, we're going to have to trade for an all-star type player. Who do you think, besides Bradley Beal, who do you think is the next guy?
Jeez.
That the Knicks could go for? Because that is so important to me, right? Because I've been stressing it out, because as of right now, the type of players that's going to take you to the promised land, these are the guys that they're the franchise of their team right now.
Right.
And Sam, you know what? It's like I'm over the free agency because I have to move on. But you don't know how important this year was, just from a free agent standpoint, and how important KD was. I know the injury and everything,
right?
But it was so important because the way we could have surrounded KD with players, it would have been fruitful for his to move on. Because I look at Giannis, Ben Simmons just got tied up. Bradley Beal could either go to Miami, Denver. Those are the two teams that Washington Wizards are looking at their pieces and players, because Denver got the pieces. And Miami, if Miami wants Bradley Beal, they are willing to take John Wall's contract. And that's the only way I feel like other teams are going to get that Beal guy. I don't think Beal is coming. The way people talk about Beal, I don't think Washington's going to give him up. I really don't. Because I'm
going to tell you, the Wizards, they want him. They want him.
They want him so bad, because when you watch his season last year, he was so tremendous.
Yeah, and with Beal, the Wizard, Bradley Beal he would have to say, I want out.
Yeah, and I don't think he's like that. I don't think he's like that.
Me either. But so who do the Knicks go after next? I mean, that's a great question.
It's so important because, for an example, say if Kevin Knox don't pan out to be an all-star, like I'm trying to, just be a little more fruitful about his career, and RJ don't become all-stars. These guys that we have, those three guys, from Mitch, Knox, and RJ, those are the three guys that have to be all-star type of players for us to feel like we could contend for anything. Because, again, we gave up a player that, it happened. But these are the three type of guys that we're banking our buck on right now. We're banking our buck right now. These are the guys right now that we look to change our life in a way that we could say, you know what? We can go with these guys and then add guys to them. And if those three guys don't pan out on some level, that trade, if that person that went to Dallas, if he becomes any type of a player that he was, that is going to hurt us. That's going to hurt us.
So where do you put Julius Randle in that equation, though?
Okay, Julius Randle. The thing is with him now, do I feel like is he going to change your, let's say, your culture? Is he going to be a 10-plus type winning type of player? Because when you look at guys like Paul George, Kawhi, Russell Westbrook, these are the guys, any team they go to, they're guaranteed 10-plus wins extra from last season, whatever team. If you put them on Miami, that's 10. You put Russell Westbrook, that's 10-plus games. So when you're looking at Randle, do I think he's that? No. But do I think he become good if you have an all-star playing with him, yes.
Okay, but let me just say this. Those guys also, yeah, they add 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think Julius Randle adds 10 wins. I think he maybe adds you 5.
5.
Right now. He may be in 2 years, he might be a guy that adds 10 wins.
Okay, so because, in those 2 years, right?
When you look at Kawhi, when you look at Paul George, those guys are how old? 28, 29?
27, 28.
Right?
29.
How old is he? He's 24 years old. He's still a puppy. He's still growing. Still a puppy in his league, still growing.
No, he's still a puppy. No, he's still, he's touching. But
I mean,
his time is now. His time is now, basically.
But he hasn't reached his peak. I mean, you don't get into your peak until you're 27, 28,
hold on, Sam.
years old, right? Now, so he's still got a little ways to go before he even gets to his peak.
I'm gonna tell you the difference between. I always say, let's put Paul George in perspective, because I was a big fan of him when he got drafted. Mm-hmm. When you watch his development, right? When you're looking at a player that you feel like is going to be an all-star type of player and going to change your culture, your franchise, this is a guy who you could surround talent with. Mm-hmm. It's that fourth year. That fourth year is the most important year to an all-star level type of a player.
Okay.
And if you look at all these all-star type players that are here now, you go look at their fourth year, and their fourth year from their third year, it's a jump. It's a jump from the eye test and from a statistic standpoint in your team's success.
Okay.
With Julius Randle, you know what's so crazy? It would have been nice to see Julius Randle when they had that Lakers squad together, because I think when you have, it reminded me of Golden State. That Lakers team, if they would have kept it like that, it would have been perfect for Julius Randle's development, because now he has a significant role. It's almost like with Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Curry. You have your one transcendent player. That's Curry, the superstar. Then you have Klay as an all-star. Then you have Draymond as this borderline. He's an all-star, but if you put him anywhere else, he's not an all-star. He's an all-star for that team, and that's how I feel about Julius Randle. When you have him with a collective of players that's better than him, then his talent is more. It's more, appreciable. But if you have him as that one guy, that number one offensive guy, as we have right now, I don't think it's not going to be good from a fan standpoint, because is he going to change your life? No. But is he going to add a little structure to your team? The team's going to know what to do on the floor? Yeah. All right. But that's how I view Julius Randle. He's a good player.
But you're saying these guys make a big jump from their third to fourth year. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think he did this year?
He made a jump, but the type of jump I'm talking about, is he a guy? If I look at Julius Randle, right?
Go ahead.
Am I going to surround my team around him? Is he a type of player? Are you going to surround your team with him?
I mean, the thing is, at this point, maybe not.
Yeah.
At this point, maybe not. Maybe he's not that guy, but he's 24. Yeah. And
No.
He's not even. He hasn't even reached his peak yet. We don't know.
Sam, no. I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, the way people are talking about him, like he can reach a multiple-time All-Star, I don't see that.
Why?
Maybe with a collection of talent, he has a chance, because it's more of an eye test. It's something I can't really tell you. It's more of an eye test, bro. When it comes to guys.
The reason why I'm asking the question, is because, you just said to me, you look for that big jump from their third to their fourth year.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what he did from his third year to his fourth year. And actually, when you think about it, it really is just his third year.
Yeah. His third year was good.
Right.
That Lakers team that he was on, it was perfect. He was in a perfect scenario.
Right. So,
because he had players that's a little better than him.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
But listen, but this is what I'm saying, because Actually, this is really his 4th year in the league, if you think about it. Because first year in the league, he didn't play. He didn't play, right? So now you're talking about 15, 16. He comes in the league. He finally plays 11 points, 10 rebounds. 16, 17. He finally, he's 13 points, 8.6 rebounds. 17, 18. He's 16 points, 8 rebounds. That 17, 18 is basically his 3rd year because he didn't play his rookie year.
Okay,
now,
so
his 4th year in the league. Hold up, his 4th year in the league, he jumps. Right, he's playing the most minutes he's ever played, 30 minutes a game. He goes from 16 points to 21 points.
Okay.
Right, 8 points to 8.7 points. I mean, 8 rebounds to 8.7 rebounds.
Okay.
He's shooting. He's still shooting. Now he's his minutes have gone up, but he's still shooting 52% from the field.
No, because he's always in the paint, so he's a paint player.
And then his 3-point shot goes up from 22% to 34%. And this is the thing: he's shooting more attempts. He's actually shooting 2.7 attempts per game last year. Where
how many shots did he attempt last year?
For 3 from 3.
Yeah.
So from 3 last year, he was almost 3 attempts per game.
Okay. And then this year, what is it?
No, I'm sorry. So in 17-18, he was at 0.5 attempts per game. Not even 1 attempt per game. He was shooting 22%. He went up from almost not even 1 attempt per game to almost 3 attempts per game, and his percentage went up to 34%.
Okay.
All these numbers tell me that he is improving every single year, and he's working better.
I'm not saying that he's not improving. That's not my argument here.
I know, but what I'm saying is, we can't answer that question. You're asking the question: is he going to be the kind of guy that could potentially be, the player that adds 10 wins to your
transcendent player, basically?
Yeah. You know what? We don't know. Because he's still growing. I mean, from the time he's been in the league till now, he's done nothing but improve every single year. And he's improved without his efficiency going down. His efficiency continues to... Well, his efficiency from 17 to 18, he was 55%. And then 18 and 19, he went to 52%. That's still good, though. So his efficiency isn't going down. It's still going up. I mean, I'm not saying he is he? But I can't.
Do you feel like when you watch him, right? When he's on the floor, and this is the difference between players like let's say Paul George. When he's on the floor, when you watch players, does he control the game like stars? That's the thing.
Well, you know what? I don't know.
That is the thing. That's the thing.
Right.
If you when I watch you, if you control the game as a star from an offensive, even if you're not defensively good, but you have to be able to control or impact the game. Where I say I can build around you, and I don't think he's like that yet.
But this is the year where we can see if he's like that, because even last year. Half the season was with Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah.
And listen, he still averaged, 21 points and 8.7 rebounds with Anthony Davis playing half the season.
Yeah.
This is the season to see, can he do it? This is the season where we can really tell. You can't tell right now. We don't know. I can't say yes or no. This is the season where we can really say, can he take that step? Can he be that guy? I think this is the season where we can make that determination.
Because I watched Paul George from when he was in his Indiana days, and these are the days when the New Jersey Nets was good. Uh-huh. And from his first to second year, he was like a defensive player. And then his 3rd year, he came on a little more offensively. But when he made that jump to 4th year, it's like you seen it. Everything was just going through him. Just from a defensive standpoint, he was controlling games. From an offensive standpoint, he was just controlling games. Even I don't want to bring him up, but even when Porzingis was healthy, there was games where he was controlling it from a standpoint defensively and sometimes offensively. That's where you say, okay, in the near future, I can surround players around this guy, because even if he doesn't score, he could do other things on the floor that's going to impact the game. And that's the difference from a superstar and just a good NBA player. Well, Julius Randle right now is a good NBA player. Do I think he can make an all-star team? It depends on if the Knicks ever make some noise, he will be an all-star, because he will be one of the main reasons, because, you know, he's a little more seasoned. And the offense is going to run through him a lot. Now, that's the only way he's going to make an all-star this year. If the Knicks do something, if we just win 40 games to make the 8th seed or something, that's the only way I could say, okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, this is the year.
I'm not down on him. I'm not down on him.
I'm not saying you're down on him. I'm not saying you're down on him, but I just don't think we can make that determination if.
No, but the thing is, too, though. Yeah, you're right.
You know,
you're right. But
wait
sometimes
and see what he does this year, because this is his first time. This is his first time being in this role. Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna really get a chance to see.
Because I just think Randle's game is just good when you have better players than him, because then the tools that he has to the game is really good, and it'll be effective with a whole bunch of guys that's better than him. But if he's the lone guy that we have to like rely on offensively, I think it's just like what we saw in New Orleans.
What?
Just be putting up points.
I'm not understanding what you're saying though. I mean, if you're saying he's the guy that we got to rely on offensively, then you want him to put up points.
No, yeah, but I'm saying he has to be impactful with those points. You could put up 28 points and not be impactful.
Hey,
he has to be an impactful player.
That New Orleans team was not horrible last year.
Sam, listen. That team offensively was great. It's because of Anthony Davis not fully wanting to be there, and Anthony Davis. This is why people question him: is he that impactful?
Well,
that's the thing. Everybody's down on Anthony Davis right now.
People haven't, a lot. He played in New Orleans. A lot of people haven't seen Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying?
That's another thing.
They're going to be able to find out this year. But listen,
this year's the year for him.
Yeah, that New Orleans team wasn't horrible. If they played in the East, they may have made the playoffs in the East.
Sam, you had one. You had one. I always say this, like when people talk about Anthony Davis is better than Stephen Curry, no, there's no way, because guess what? Even if Steph don't play defense, offensively, just him being on the floor, it impacts the whole game. You could put up 28 points and 12 rebounds and not be impactful, and that's Anthony Davis' career. People would think Anthony Davis should have been the best player already, because his production is out of work. His production is like Wilt Chamberlain type. Well, the way how he plays.
We're gonna see. The Pelicans last year were 33-49 in the West, and that was with Anthony Davis not playing, half the games. Anthony Davis.
It's because of him. He sabotaged it. He sabotaged it.
Yeah. Then you had the whole thing. Anthony Davis played 56 games last season. They were 33-49, and then of course you had everything going on with Anthony Davis. They could have been a much better team. As a matter of fact, the year before that, I believe they had a much better record. The year before that, they didn't have Julius Randle that season, but they were 48-34.
Yeah, and one thing about Gentry, that offense is always going to be clicking.
Yeah,
that was top 5. Yeah. So if your best player is not impactful again. That tells you that's why he needs to be buddied up with a star that's slightly better than him, and that's why he went with LeBron. Okay. You have to read into these things, bro.
Well, we'll see what's up.
And it's gonna make him look better, because LeBron's gonna take all the heat, but then again, Anthony Davis is gonna take a lot of heat too.
Yeah, he is. Let me come to my man Isaiah. We're about to head out of here, folks. But I just want to come to my man Isaiah. This man Isaiah is online cooking up chicken. This man is cooking chicken. That chicken better not be nasty, Isaiah. Word up. It better not be nasty.
It's never nasty.
Huh?
My chicken is never nasty,
sneezing
Sam.
all over the food. I don't know who's.
I'm not sneezing. Oh my God! Food, you man. Catch me in the weirdest moments, Sam. I'm sick of it.
You just sneezed all over the food, and now you're about to touch it again.
I didn't sneeze over the food, man.
You didn't even wash your hands. You're about to touch that chicken again.
No, I'm not. I'm about to wash my hands right now. What's going on, Sam?
If I didn't say anything, you was not going to wash your hands.
Yes, I was.
Man, over here cooking chicken. What are you cooking chicken for? It's 11:50 at night. Why are you cooking chicken, man?
Oh no, this is for tomorrow for my lunch.
You got 5 chicken breasts there for your lunch tomorrow.
How do you don't see? No, this is not just for me. I'm cooking for somebody else.
I was about to say. There 5 chicken breasts there. You cooking for your lunch.
Shut up, Mark.
So what's going right now, man? We just kind of doing a question to answer. We winding down. You know what I mean? Ernie Dove said he's cooking for the week. Nah, I don't know. He's cooking for tomorrow. He ain't cooking for the week. He is not cooking.
Shut up.
That man is cooking.
Anyways. We talking about just in general.
Yeah. Anything you just?
Oh, Julius Randle.
Anything you just wanted to jump in with? Guillermo joining us right, 5 minutes before we about to head off. But
Guillermo, come on, you on black? What are you doing, Guillermo, with the McDonald's headset on?
But right now, we winding down, and we just doing, we just.
Hey man, listen. I know we had our big argument, but I'm excited for Julius Randle, man. I think if the Knicks do make a big push, I do agree with Mark. Julius Randle will probably be the vocal point. Like I was saying earlier, Sam, we got a lot of high level, good starters, high role players, and I really do believe they got a chip on their shoulder, Sam. I think these guys. I mean, I seen the first couple of comments these guys were saying, like don't disrespect us. Just don't assume that because the Nets got quote unquote superstars and the Knicks got role players, and even though it's so funny how everybody keeps saying we drafted power forwards, like we don't play interchangeable positions now in the NBA, which is just so funny to me. But these guys are hungry, Sam, and I believe if these guys come in day one and work hard, and you know what, we're not the most talented group. But if we could work harder than most of these teams, which I believe Fizzo can do and coach the players to play hard, we'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me get over here. I'm going to get over here to Guillermo.
Can I go back to seasoning my chicken?
Go ahead back to seasoning your chicken, man. You talk about these guys are hungry. It looks like you hungry to me. Guillermo, what's good, man?
What's good, Sim? Sorry for coming on late, man.
It's cool. We're just having a quick little open mic session. Just any comments that you want to make, and then we heading out.
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, you guys probably cover a bunch of topics, but I'm actually excited to see what Julius Randle does on the for Team USA, man. Everybody left. All these guys want to, they're not really taking it seriously. They want to do whatever for the teams, which is fine. But for a guy like Julius Randle, this is a guy that I feel like he always has he's had potential for some years, right? He lost the weight. He's kind of shown at least on the offensive end that he could produce. So I'm really excited to see what he could do on the main stage, man, where, he's on an international stage, and if he elevates his game, looking back at the Pelicans, and I'd say he got fat. I wouldn't say out of shape, but he definitely wasn't as cut, and I don't think his stamina was as good as his last year with the Lakers, where he had that whole transformation. So I'm curious to see if he takes this by the bullhorn and says, well, when we go to Olympics next year, when we play the series games, you're going to have to consider me. I'm not just some throwaway that y'all brought him because everybody else fell out. I'm a guy that, I can be a top star in this league. And if he does that, that'd be great for the Knicks, man. You got a, so-called gem, even though we're paying him big money or a decent amount of money, but if this guy, elevates his status to that top 20 tier, or at least touches that, that's a steal for the Knicks. So I'm excited to see what he does with this.
Listen, he's going to be in shape. He should be in shape if he's going into training camp with the USA team. That's right. It's right before the Knicks training camp. He should be in shape, man. So I'm excited too. This could be the year where he steps into. I mean, the Knicks. What I'm hoping happens with Julius Randle is what I think the Knicks thought was going to happen with Tim Hardaway Jr. That they were going to get him a deal and he was going to turn into a star. Julius Randle has much more potential to do that.
Yeah, and honest to God, man, if you watch Julius Randle's game, right, you watch Hardaway's game, right, he had that ridiculous game. I forgot who it was. It was like the 40-some game or whatever with the Hawks or whatever. It was that absurd game where he just went off. And the thing with Hardaway is that he never showed you. When he first came to the Knicks, he was a happy-go-lucky guy. didn't really play great defense, but he had a lot of potential. But you never saw him. He never showed something where he showed intangibles in terms of leadership or whatever. And I feel with Julius Randle, unfortunately, what's happened to the Lakers and when LeBron was coming, so he kind of left. He dipped out a year early. Julius Randle's always showed that he might have that it to him, but it just never manifested. AD goes down. The team is not really focused on the playoffs. There's a whole AD drama, so he does put up the numbers, but is he really there to kind of build the team long term? The Lakers knew that LeBron was coming, despite the fact that that team that he had, that young team he had, they had 35, 36 wins. I don't know what it was. They were a team on the come up, even though people kind of sick of the coach and whatever. But this guy to always show potential to possibly take it to the next level. And I think that the situation with the FIBA thing, if he can make these guys the so-called, what was it called, the dirty dozen, kind of like the guys who've been long forgotten, who are not the so-called stars. If he could show that, hey, you guys are missing out, and I'm going to change the narrative on this USA basketball. I'm going to be a star. Like, I'm that guy. He's always shown it, man. He always shows his talent. I'm excited. Yeah,
me too, man. I'm definitely excited. I'm gonna get around and let Ernesto and Sandy get in.
That chicken looks awful. I tell you. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't know what you got. A lot of chicken for lunch tomorrow, man. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Is he vegan? I thought he was vegetarian. So what happened to that diet thing you're talking about?
I don't know if he was doing vegan, but he's about to throw a lot of salt on that joint right now.
Oh.
He's about to throw a lot of salt.
Isaiah, make sure it's not pink.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Do not eat it if it's pink.
Isaiah, you're throwing a lot of salt on that joint right now. Did you put some Goya on it? Adobo? Did you put some adobo on it?
Yeah, I put some adobo on it, man.
You didn't put no adobo on it. It's going to be nasty.
Yeah, it looks mad ugly, Isaiah, man. Oh, gosh. Oh.
All right, you got the adobo right there. That's what.
There's none left. He's lying. There's none left, Sim.
It says, "Oh, there you go. He's doing it." Okay, Isaiah's doing it up. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Hey, yo, Sim, I owe you dinner. Sim, I owe you dinner, man.
Hell, don't eat that, Sim. Do not eat that dinner, Sim.
Sim, am I live? Sim, am I live?
You live. Yeah, you live.
Sim, can I say, I want everybody to know one thing. You are an expensive person. I'm glad I'm not married to you. You're an expensive person.
About? How you figure that?
Oh, no. Listen, I ain't going to reveal everything, but Lord, yo, Guillermo, let me tell you, this man is he has an expensive taste.
What?
He said, he was bragging about your house, man. He said he got like a nice little mini mansion. Like,
man, that dude got a mansion. He got like 15 pit bulls.
Yeah.
He got like
Sim trying to lay low, right? Sim think he's slick, right? With the bucket hat.
Yo, Guillermo, this dude got like 50 bucket hats.
Yo,
Sim got the leather bucket hats, right?
Hold on. He said expensive taste. Like what? Like what?
Now I'm joking, Sim. I was happy to pay for your meals, even though he kicked me out the house.
Oh, I ain't kicking him out of the house.
Hold on.
Hey, wait, Sim, I'm still alive, right, Sim?
Yeah, I'm about to switch to in a second. Go ahead.
Listen, everybody, on a serious note, if you could come out August, man, and help with the basketball court,
yeah,
it'd be greatly appreciated. Listen, I ain't trying to put no pressure on you, but I'm coming from CT, and I'm coming to help.
There we go. That's what's up.
I want people to come out there, man. I think this is really important for the the community. I see where these kids live, man, and it'd be very important for people to come out there and help. You know what I'm saying?
And
I wish Gamble could come out, but his boo taking care of him. he's still injured, man.
Yeah,
that's all.
But look, on that note, I just want to say this: if there is a court that you know of that's in, where you live in New York, Brooklyn, Bronx, Harlem, wherever it's at, and if there's something that we could do to try to help clean it up and do some things, let me know. Talk to me. We could try to work that out. You know what I mean? And make it happen. That's what that's the type of things we want to do. We can get some of our Nothing But Knicks family together and go, take care of that. All right, but listen, we about to come down to the end of the show, man. I'm gonna come around to Ernesto and Sandy and start getting some last words. Ernesto, you want to give us some last words, man?
Yeah, for sure. Hold on a second. Let's see. So like, what I want to see next season. Hold on a second. Let me read some of these guys still. So, like I said, what I want to see for the next season, I want to see the starting lineup with most of the new players that we received, that we signed, and I want most of the kids coming off the bench in the second unit. The only guy who should be starting is RJ, as far as the young guys. Then I see either RJ and Peyton in the backcourt, and then I would have DSJ and Frank battling it out for the backup point guard position.
Okay.
That's the goal, man. That's going to be the goal, is to build these the value up for these all these role players that we got, like Morris and Ellington, Potts Gibson. All those three guys at least need to be moved by the trade deadline, so we can create more playing time for the young guys in the second part of the season.
Now, what if with the team that we have, the Knicks are contending? Well, what if, let's just say, what if the Knicks have a 500 or better record? You still move?
That's the predicament. That's one of the predicaments that they're going to face. If they're contending for a playoff spot, do they move on? If they receive interest for those veterans, do they pull the trigger and make a trade for second round assets or second round picks, or do they continue to try to make the playoffs? It's going to be that's going to be an answer. Let's hope we're in that position. If we're in that position, it's a really good thing. If we're contending for a playoff spot and they are, they're caught in between, do we sell on these bets for picks, or do we hold on to them and try to continue with making this playoff run? If we're in that situation, then up to that point, it's going to be a good season. So hopefully it's that way.
All right.
But once again, the number one priority needs to be to continue to develop a young core. That needs to be the number one goal.
Right.
Before even making the playoffs. That should be the number one goal. Another thing that you would call, because that's important.
All right, Ernesto, man, I appreciate you. Listen, I'm gonna be back on Friday.
Tim, I wanted to ask you any updates with the YouTube live stream.
I reached out to him today, and hopefully we'll be able to. I reached out to him. I did speak to someone through a chat box, not in person, and they're doing some follow up. So hopefully I hear something by tomorrow or Friday.
All right, man.
But I definitely. But I'm gonna be on Friday, streaming anyway.
All right.
All right, man. Later.
All right, man. Peace out to the chat, man.
Peace. All right, Sandy.
Hey.
Quickly, give us some last words, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens with Randle. I think his biggest problem is still going to be the D. If he can play some better D than he played this season, the rest of his game is matured and really, well now. I watched a bunch of his highlights to see what we were getting because, frankly, like you said, he's not a guy I saw a lot of. I didn't get a chance to see a lot of his games.
Right.
Most of the games I actually saw were near the end of the season, where they played a few of the teams that we were in competition with. I hate to say that, but it's the truth, for the first record in the league. And every game I saw him in, he dominated. He did look like the best player on the court.
Yeah.
I also before Peyton, after Peyton got injured or whatever happened to him, games I saw of his, he looked impressive. So that was promising as well. So I mean, he's definitely gonna. You said what? You think that he could be the difference maker for 5 wins?
Yeah, I think he could be a difference maker for about 5 wins.
I forget, what was your number? My number is a 32 window. Yours is 35 window.
Yeah, I'm between 32. I'm between 30 and 35.
Yeah, so we're in the same ballpark. Yeah. What you guys were talking about as far as All-Star break trading deadline is approaching. Knicks intention for to make like an 8 seed. What do they do? I mean, it to me, it has nothing to do with the record, and it has everything to do with what's offered. If one of the guys they signed, if they get a first round draft pick offer, I think you move them. I would, and hopefully we can still make the playoffs with the kids. We talked about this the last time you were on, how you really enlightened me to rethink about it, and having them the young kids go through this whole late season push where they have to win games to make even the 8 seed is good for the future. Having them even play as an 8 seed, even if they got swept, is good for them in the future. But still, the future is more about talent, and I think the more picks we have in this new way the lottery works, the more picks you can obtain, the better shot you have. You just never know what's going to happen now. So
yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, we're dreaming. We're all we're in a daydream mode here, talking about mid-season in contention for an 8th or 7th seed, and we may be sitting here on this same night, very same type of night in that scenario, well out of the 8th seed, and laughing that we even considered this.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to be okay with it either way. I mean, as long as they play good. That's, for me, I don't care about the wins and losses as much as I care about what I see out of the players.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Sandy, I appreciate you for being on with me, man. And I'll be back on Friday.
Well, wait. Are you gonna be on tomorrow with your co-partner?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on tomorrow night with the entertainer. We'll be on tomorrow night. Yep.
You gotta push that. That's just as much your show as it's his.
Yeah. We'll be on tomorrow night. But as far as here,
I didn't come on the chat because I'm not a connoisseur. I'm not like like these guys are when it comes to the rap anymore. I'm more I can't even explain the kind of music I listen to. It's I like the Glitch Mob. You probably never even heard of them.
Who?
They're called the Glitch Mob. It's like probably my favorite band right now. But I did listen to your whole Front Stoop show, and very impressive. You do a good job with that. You had one kid on the whole night. I wish that kid would be too bad he's not a basketball fan, because he was a smart kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know him.
Savvy. He comes in sometimes. He's pretty good. Yeah, savvy.
Very impressed by him. Seemed like he well spoken. Not that anyone other than Isaiah, everyone's well spoken, really. and I'm just gonna say, listen, Isaiah needs to stop talking about the fake news. He's getting worse than CNN and Fox. And his only chance to potentially take you in a game would be a game of horse. Maybe he can beat you in a game of horse.
No, he won't. You trust me, he won't. You can guarantee that. I put my house on it. I will bet my house that he will not ever beat me in a game of horse.
Well, you know what? You should see if there's some kind of, when you're ready to do you go and do this thing to help raise money for that court you're talking about in August. You should see if there's a way you can do some kind of like, people can go if you two play again, and every point that each of you score, people could dedicate $1.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, we'll think about something like that. But
I mean, if you ever come upstate, I probably could find you guys I could probably reach out to one of the places I used to coach back in the day, and get you a basketball court. There's a Y here in Kingston, New York, YMCA.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with Kingston. I have family that lives in Kingston. I'm very familiar with Kingston, New York. Yeah.
Really? So I can't think of his name right now. There's this young guy that he pretty much probably still runs the Y as far as basketball goes.
Okay. All right.
And he was super awesome. He let me come there with my team, and this is going to sound goofy. I had this team of all short, kind of unathletic little white kids. And we showed up there and practicing twice a week against the city of Kingston's top flight young kids.
Uh-huh.
And we went and played it, they're in one league and we're in this more upscale type of preppy league, I would call it. But man, those kids learn so much getting schooled by the city kids.
I bet. Yeah.
It was great. I loved it. I loved it because, like I said, I pretty much had an all-white team, and I hated it. I wanted them to be. I wanted to have a mixture of players. I wanted them to get used to being around everybody.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
but Sandy, let me get ready to go, man, because it's getting late. I gotta rock out of here.
All right, man. Later to everyone. Peace out. Be safe, gentlemen.
Definitely. All right. Isaiah, you want to go ahead? Just hurry up and give me some last words, man. Real quick.
Hey, listen. You see the chick in my youth?
15 seconds.
Anyways, Sim, when I come out there, I can't wait. Hopefully, I can get Gilmore to come if he wants to make a cameo. Bless us. He's like 7 feet tall. He better help his big ass get here and help us. Yeah, man. Everybody support.
Don't forget to get your.
I'm definitely down.
Opening night stuff in, man, because the tickets we got less than 20.
Hey, Gilmore, pay for my ticket, Gilmore.
We got less than 20, man. We got less than 20. You gotta take.
I'm gonna tell Gilmore pay for my ticket, man, because he gonna come there with his girl. He gonna act like he don't know he got a girl, but But Samuel, I really am down for that. If we do another game and it's for charity, I'm gonna score 50 points. You know what I'm gonna do.
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I gotta get off, man. I gotta rock. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, everybody come out support August, man. We coming out there helping the courts, man. Everybody support.
Yeah.
Have a good one, Sam.
All right, peace. All right, Gormo, you want real quick?
Yeah. I'll see you here. I'll see you here tomorrow, Sim.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll be with the entertainer tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I'm talking trash tomorrow. You know that. All right, man. Peace, bro.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Fun show. Sometimes some guys can get a little long-winded every once in a while. You know what I mean? But anyway, again, I just want to remind you, make sure that we got less than 21 tickets. Less than 20 tickets remaining for this opening night. Just go to my website, NothinButKnicks.com. And I'm going to make sure I put this in the chats. And make sure you go to my website, make a down payment, okay? So you can get into this lounge, so you can go courtside. So you can shoot free throws on the Madison Square Garden floor. Opening night. Make sure you get that done. All right. If you are, and I just put it in the Twitch chat, the link to opening night. But if you are on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, post in my comment section. I'll be back up live soon. I'm working on it. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitch, please make sure that you follow me. Make sure that you follow me. All right. I'll be back on live Friday night. Some more topics to talk about. We'll have a good time. Maybe we might do the whole thing question and answer. I don't know. I haven't thought about the concept for Friday night show, but I'll be back on Friday night, 9:30. All right. So make sure that you join me on whatever platform is best for you. Make sure that you join me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm jumping out for the night. I appreciate you guys being with me, rocking with me again. Those who sent me on Cash App, $, Nothing But Knicks. Thank you. I appreciate you. for supporting me with on Cash App. I appreciate that. All right. And again, make sure you get your opening night tickets. I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure that you have a peaceful, restful, cool rest of your week. And I will catch you Friday. I'm out of here.